So now that we survived these first 100 days, now we can really get into the gist of everything. We can make a lot of progress. We can start on a new massive project and do so many more incredible things throughout this entire world. Our beautiful village, we're still gonna do some few things in here. We still wanna do a bit to every single house and still make it more alive, more beautiful, might even end up extending it at some point in the future. But over here in our phenomenal new enchantment place, well, I should maybe get myself some better armor. Look at this, bro. The only thing that's like decent is my chest piece. Everything else is just like an embarrassment. I don't even have diamonds to get myself a helmet. Now I actually do have diamonds literally in the wall right there, but those are not for use. We can't grab those. I have 21 emeralds right now, which is like just not even remotely enough for anything. Something I want to do as well is I want to get myself some efficiency 4 books so I can get these pickaxes to efficiency 5. I have a book right here that's silk touch, and I know I have another book somewhere. Inside this chest right here I have one mending book. It's better than nothing. I thought I had a bit more than that, but we will take it. Before we get into any of these new enchantments and everything like that, let me introduce the giant new project that we're gonna start working on. So if I walk down here, one thing is we want to extend this area. We want to get ourselves a bunch more axolotls because this world is just apparently all about axolotls. I would not be surprised if I get to like day 500 and I have like, well, 5,000 axolotls. But the next massive project is this area down here. I want to make myself a very cool mine. Like I talked about in my last 100 days, I want to get a feel of almost like a Lord of the Rings type of Erebor feel. Almost more so the Hobbits, but you know what I mean. But before I can do that, what I should do is I should definitely start off by getting all of my tools to the best standard they can possibly be, and as well as that, get some better armor just to bring myself to a much safer place so I don't end up losing this world due to literally running around with, well, in reality, quite terrible armor. Now in terms of like automated farms and stuff like that, now definitely for the most part, I want to stay away as much as humanly possible for anything automated, and the reasoning behind doing that is just honestly, it kind of takes out the fun of the world, because when you have like 2 or 3 automated farms, well, basically everything you do at that point just feels almost pointless. There's nothing really to do anymore. You can just literally get everything that you could like think of in an instant almost, and then, well, the world is just basically over, because then I don't know, it just kind of takes out all of the fun, at least in my opinion. But what we have right here is we have one of the villagers who does sell mending, and that is one of them that I really want to definitely get to work with. I need a lot of mending books so I can put mending on all of my different tools, armor, and everything. Before I can really get into that, I want to figure out, this guy sells a flame book. I really don't want that. We had a villager at some point that sold efficiency 4 books, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can find him. That's the silk touch guy, and this guy right here, this guy is our efficiency 4 villager, and he sells them for 27 emeralds, which is actually not too bad of a bargain. That's a decent bargain in my opinion. Only issue is, well, I don't even have 27 emeralds right now. But before doing any of that, what I think I might do is I want to grab these things right here, and I want to just try and disenchant probably the boots due to them having a bit more durability. And blast protection, you can absolutely F off. Not doing that. Let's see what the legs do. Unbreaking 3, protection 4. Now that's a beauty right there. Then how about these boots now, my guy? Protection 3. Are you taking me for a joke? I am not doing that. What I will potentially do is, if you have a good thing for efficiency 4, only efficiency 4. Now the shovel I have right under here actually does have Unbreaking 3 on it already. Now the question is, do I start combining everything, or do I try and wait a little bit until I get back to level 30 so I can actually get a decent enchantment on the boots first and then start spending all the levels? That's probably the one I should go with, right? Actually doing that. So what I think my plan is right now is I should probably just harvest all of these farms. I'm kind of contemplating literally just saying there is no such thing as an automated farm allowed in this world. I genuinely might actually end up doing that. I think it would make this world go on for much longer, keep the fun alive for an even longer time and, well, kind of my enjoyment stay for as long as humanly possible. I think I've just really personally got tired of like automating everything, and then like I talked about earlier, literally within a blink of an eye everything is automated, and then your kind of like work in the world just simply dies. So like forcing myself to build like a bunch of sugarcane farms and actually having to go myself and trim them down and do the work, it makes it fun, even though it's like extra time added to everything. I really kind of enjoy it. All I need to do right now is I just need to grab all of this sugarcane that I do have on me, and I need to turn it all into paper and see how much paper we can actually get. Then we gotta go ahead and find a villager that wants to do a bit of trading. Actually, I should probably, potentially, I might go back to our good old villager town, which is over there. And honestly, I really don't want the flame one. Let's see if he just kind of changes over time. But I should probably go over there to that place and get a bunch more clay balls. That would be a good way to get a bunch of emeralds in a short amount of time. Why do you guys all want to escape from down here? Should we jump together? Let's jump together. What's up? What are we doing? Are we seeing something? What are we what are we finding out here, boys? Oh, we find zombies. Oh, come on, Iron Golem. Kick it. Oh, let's go. Would you one yap that guy, man? Nice work. Anyways, I want to trade with you, and you are gonna end up giving me 33 emeralds, which means I can now buy one more book. And I should not actually hold my axe in my hand because that is mending, and that will then not actually give me the levels. Too late? Little annoying. I should not have been doing that. But if I run over right here and throw in this efficiency, it costs me only 5 levels to add that to it, and also only 5 levels in that. So that is something that I want to do. That's only requiring 10 levels to actually do that. That's absolutely phenomenal. And then all I have to do is go back over to the city. Look how down bad my pants and stuff is. I really don't need this to break, since I just literally spend all those levels leveling it up. What I could do is I could actually pop down these 2 pieces. How many is that gonna give me? 3. Yeah, I need 5. No one will ever notice. No one will notice. There we are. See, you didn't notice, right? We can whoop those things in there, and then we can do the same to this little beauty, and then we can make ourselves an iron helmet. I know, right? Brilliant. Oh, this iron helmet right here. Oh, that's my iron helmet from earlier. Well, I'll just grab that, and then, well, we'll have that for something else. I think I'm gonna just run all the way over to the other town. I want to get as much as I humanly possibly can in terms of clay from over there. I might honestly have to combine these. Ooh, switching around is only 6. You know what? I'm gonna spend the levels. I can quickly get back to 30. It will not be an issue. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this efficiency. I'm also gonna grab the mending book. Let's jump into this one right here. Let's throw in the efficiency first. That's efficiency 5, and then plus the mending. That's gonna bring me to a perfect shovel. Well, until we actually get netherite, which we haven't done at all yet. And honestly, I couldn't even tell you if I'll ever do so. It's not something I really want to spend time on, if I'm being honest. Since I'm already spending all of these different levels, what I think I might do is take every single piece of wood that I can find from all of my chests. Then this Fletcher guy right here, what I think I want to do is I want to sell him all of the sticks that he wants to grab. That gives me 16 emeralds. I don't have any books, so I will need a book, which, you know what, man? We can always buy more bookshelves, so let me just really quickly... This is the one, right? Yeah. That one? Oh yeah, that's touch. I'm gonna just yap this thing in, and I'm gonna get the books from this instead. Then our guy right here who sells me mending, I'm gonna grab another mending book. Thank you, good sir. And I'll throw them on the pants. That's only 2 levels. That's quite phenomenal. Yeah, I'd rather make sure they don't break. That is literally all I can do right now to gain any sort of emeralds. Now I'm just gonna run all the way back over to the village, get as much clay as I can humanly possibly get. And this time I'm not gonna grab axolotls because I need more clay. And I'm gonna go back, sell it all, get a insane amount of emeralds, and then hopefully I'll be at a good point of at least having some solid armor. And then we can stop wasting time and really get into our project. Back home with a whole bunch of clay balls. Now the question is, do I utilize the clay balls to get my XP into my pants and stuff like that, or do I try and level up so I can do enchantments? Probably doing the enchantment would be the best one. So let's find ourselves a beautiful villager that is willing to trade. Guys are always sleeping, it seems, but there we are. This guy's still stuck here. Do you need help, bro? Should I help you? Can I help you even? Yeah, I can. Wait, don't leave me. Don't leave me. We need to trade. Phew. That brings me to 64 emeralds. That brings me to 78. And a few more stick trades on top of that. That brings me to a stack and a half of emeralds. And level 21. Plus I have so many more clay balls, but they don't really want to trade right now. They want to take their time until they're ready to go again, which I've not traded with them in a while. So either we have an issue where they haven't actually grabbed the jobs and that's why, or they're just being stubborn. This is still good for now though. We can do a few extra things. We can start off by grabbing ourselves 2 more efficiency 4 books. That will then mean that this one is going to be efficiency 5 and this one is going to be efficiency 5. Then this guy right here can sell me a bookshelf since I literally have no books. And then you can sell me a buttload of mending books. 3 it is. And also no emeralds left, but it's alright. Let's start off by throwing the mending on our chest piece because I do feel like that's the one that I probably rather have it on for now. And the fortune pickaxe is probably the one that we'll be using the most, so let's throw it on that one. And then I suppose I have one to spare, so let's actually just do that. That brings me the chest piece that I want, the pants that I want, pickaxes that I want, shovel that I want, axe that I want. Then all I really need to do right now is get a better helmet and better boots. But it all depends on when these guys wants to trade again though. I should also harvest these farms down here so I can start having more of these guys breeding because we will need a bunch more villagers. Let's quickly annihilate all of these farms and get these villagers to breeding again. Then you guys need to go to town for me. That's all I need you guys to do. Just go to town for your boy. I appreciate it. While we wait for the guys to cool down up there, what I want to do is I want to get going on this area down here. I want to get to work. I want to clear this area out as much as I possibly can so we can actually start working on our project down here. One thing that I should probably do as well is, well, we should do some lighting up. We should definitely do some lighting up though. I am thinking that's going to help quite a lot. But to start off with, all I really need to do is just clear out all of these trees. So it's been 102 days, and literally right next to my village, in here, we had ourselves a spawner. I can't believe we did. Really? I could have actually used this spawner. Actually, genuinely, I could have used this spawner. Let's check these chests though. What do we get? We get, ooh, okay. Not bad. Not bad either. This is actually decent stuff. This is actually all decent stuff that I can use. Did not expect there to be a spawner right there, but that is pretty cool. Potentially, I will probably have to remove it though. I'm suspecting. Well, I'm gonna grab these. Okay, so that just kind of happened. I want to grab these different, or okay, yeah, this is getting annoying. Okay, we have to spawn it. Let's see if we have to remove it. I don't really want to remove it unless I actually have to. But now that this entire area is cleared up completely, we can start looking and figuring out what we really want to put into this area. So when I stand right here looking at this area, what I'm thinking is that maybe I could pluck like a statue on one side and then a statue on the other side. And then in the middle of that, I would build some sort of gate. And then the area on the outside, we can figure out some sort of things that's going to bring everything to life. I think I've come up with an idea that I think is going to work. What it requires is for me to remove a bunch of this stone in the roof, so it actually gives a bit more of an atmospheric look to the area. I was definitely hoping that I didn't have to start removing all of this up here, but the statues I think is going to be much bigger than I anticipated. I tried to test out a little bit in a creative world, and they're definitely going to be much bigger than I realized at first. So it will definitely have to require a bunch of digging. So I think that's what I should just get to. This is gonna be awful, but hopefully in the end it would be worth it. I definitely still want to do something to this, but I want to get in my statues off the get-go before I actually start working too much, so I kind of can like figure out exactly how much time I have to spend on everything else. In my inventory, I've gotten a couple of different ores right here, which I think I'm going to utilize for the builds themselves. Now, somehow, somewhere, we got to make 2 big dwarf statues. What I'm going to start off by doing is on this side right here, I'm just going to build one, and then we'll just kind of see how it goes from there. Gotten myself a whole bunch of emeralds since I went back to the city to grab even more clay. And while we're at it, we can even grab more right now. It's the perfect way to just completely boost up all my tools once again when they get absolutely annihilated from all this. So we need to grab a few different things to actually start building the dwarves themselves. I really don't know exactly what type of blocks I want to use to build it, so I'm just kind of grabbing every different types of ores that I think I might potentially use. Now, we are locked in on emeralds now. This is kind of nice. I definitely think I can utilize some amethyst blocks in the build. Wait, do I literally only have one amethyst block left? Damn, I might actually genuinely literally only have one. I know for a fact that there is actually a geode very close to here. Well, I did spend a bunch of it in here, so it kind of makes sense that I've started to run out. This is all the blocks that I ended up with after doing this, so we got ourselves a whole bunch of cobblestone deep slate. We are not ever gonna have to worry about that ever again. We are decked out for now. Hopefully I will spend a solid amount actually building some sort of thing going on around here so I can kind of just get away with everything once again, because it's definitely taking up a lot of space. So unless I am completely and utterly wrong, I believe that somewhere around here there's actually a geode. Did that Enderman look at me? I don't know. Did he? Looked like he did, right? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. He definitely looked like he was aggressive towards me. Yep, I told you. Bro, I didn't even look at him. What? What in the world, bro? How did that happen? Yo! You need to calm down, my G. Don't ever do that to me again, bruv. This is why we need shields. Okay, let me see. Geode, geode, geode. There must be one over here. I'm so certain there is. Oh, it's right there. It's literally right there, bro. I knew for a fact that there was one right here. I think I even looked at it before when I just said, where is it? So, well, thank God for that. We need it. Let's just grab ourselves a few building blocks so we can actually get up there. And not too many zombies. I don't even care. Not even trying to be bothered by those guys. Nice. We probably won't actually be needing too many of these, but I definitely want to grab myself a handful. This should be more than enough blocks of amethyst, so we can definitely start working on this. Maybe instead of trying to drag this out too much, I should just go into a time lapse and we'll see how it ends up going. Let's do that. So what this is supposed to resemble is some sort of hammer hitting the ground. Now what I'm thinking is actually, before I move any further with this, I want to grab myself some cobblestone, because I think mixturing cobblestone and tuff might potentially actually give a little bit more of a boost to the looks of it. And what I mean by that is that since it's also very dark down here and already is a lot of deep slate around these places, maybe some cobblestone just kind of, well, brings another feel to the build, so you kind of see something different than just the deep slate. I feel like this will help. Slowly but surely it is coming together. What I need is actually want to go into the nether real quick, because I gotta grab some glowstone. I want to use glowstone for the eyes. And I know for a fact there's some literally right behind the portal. Why is there just a whole army in here waiting for me? Y'all gotta calm down. Alright, let's just quickly grab a few pieces and get out of here quickly again. That 19 pieces is gonna plenty do it. I'm contemplating if for the eyes I should do shroom lights instead, because then around the build I could add in glowstone to light it up a bit more. I don't want the glowstone to be eyes and then also be on the body. I want like the eyes to be a specific thing. Okay, this right here might be a little crazy. I do not know if this will work. Can I make the eyes out of lava? So this is the head of him, so if I do this and then that, I then remove these two blocks right here and then I just make my way all the way down. I don't know how this will look, but maybe it actually will look decent. Oh yeah, that looks cool. That looks absolutely fire actually. I really like that. See, then the question kind of switches now. So I've added in all of these different iron ores around here. Would it then look better if I did glowstone, because it will then light it up a bunch more? Or will the iron look better? I do think the iron looks better if I'm being honest. I definitely do think the iron looks better. So maybe what I can do is somehow, some way be smart. Another way, add in light. But I think I should probably finish him off first before trying to do something like that. The eyes, I very much so like that. I actually think it looks really, really cool. Yeah, this is a win in my book. I'm really, really liking that. Let's try and do the rest of him, and then we can start kind of changing everything up and make the proper details that I would like to have. And with some voodoo magic, let's say 3, 2, 1. That basically finishes off this guy for now. There are definitely a few things that I want to do to this build right here. What I want to do is somehow, somewhere try and see if I can add a bit more lighting into it, and that's going to be utilized with the glowstones themselves. So I'm thinking that this sword right here, if I start removing a few blocks, and then instead of having the deep slate, I instead throw in the glowstone, I feel like that could probably help, right? So it doesn't have to be anything too crazy, it just has to be a couple of replacements, and in theory, that definitely should help it look much better. And then maybe around corners like this right here, where you actually can't really see much from the downstairs, maybe I add in some glowstone like in between the arms. I feel like that would probably light it up a bit more without doing too much. Let's try and quickly yap ourselves down and see how much that does. Oh yeah, that definitely helps. I definitely like that. Maybe something I'll have to do is remove the grass here. And then with the grass being removed, what I could do is I could add another layer of the amethyst under, just to make the axe look a bit bigger. Maybe we just remove that and throw another piece of glowstone in at the bottom. I think I like that. Well, it's not actually an axe, it's more so a hammer. Let's go even further back and see if there's any sort of feel. It actually really helps with that, with the glowstone. Look how the arms up there has that glow, but you don't actually see anything, you just see that it's lit up. So then think about this guy also being on the other side. So then what I'm thinking for the guy on the other side is that I basically want to do the exact same, but maybe instead of having the iron, we could then instead do maybe gold. That would require me to go on a journey to find more gold. In theory, I could also do lapis, but I definitely do think that gold would probably look better. Yeah, I do think gold would look better, but I would have to get a bunch more gold deep slates, so maybe I have to go down mining just a little bit. I don't think I would need all that many. And then the other question is, how far apart should I make them, since I've already dug down this entire area and we can't really put him all that much further out, since the further out we get, it just kind of hits out here and it would feel off. What I'm thinking is, okay, so I went into Creative World and tested it with Lightmatica. So what I have to do is I have to remove 3 layers on this side right here, and there will be proper space for him to be here. So that clears out the entire side. So now we need about a full stack of gold deep slate. So what I think I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to make a trip down to my old school mine over here. If we make our way down here, down to this mine, we can then go in here and we can grab ourselves hopefully a good amount of gold. There is a couple of openings that I know that I haven't properly checked out. So hopefully in there we can find a decent amount of gold. And hopefully this will not take too long. Definitely not the worst trip. We got 8 plus a stack of 64, and we got 12 blocks of iron, and we got 12 diamond deep slate ores, plus 4 diamonds because I accidentally mined them, same with the raw gold. But this should do it though, so now we will actually be able to build the other guy on the other side. I'm gonna stick with the amethyst for the weapon. I was contemplating if I should do emeralds, but I'm actually thinking that I'm just gonna stick with the amethyst, since for some reason I just feel like that works better. So let's take this thing and replicate it on the other side.
VD.
So with a little bit of help from Lightmatica, now we have basically made them the exact same on both sides. So this one is the gold one, and this one is the iron one. Like overall, I am really loving these guys. I think they look badass. Let me do that and move like slowly but surely. I think the eyes is what I'm actually most like hyped about. I think the eyes looks, what? I was like, I'm hearing something, bro. Can you like not my G? Are you confused? You're not even like, okay, I was about to say, you're not even like really hitting me, but now you are. Anyways, but I'm actually very excited about. I'm actually very happy with this. I think it looks phenomenal. I see one thing. You notice how right there's a little chunk out that's not on that side? Forgot to put that in. Now this doesn't even come remotely close to even finishing off this project whatsoever. Far from. But it is definitely a very nice start, man. I'm really liking this. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Now what the next part of this project is gonna be is that in between these two guys, right about here, we gotta like make a little dig up probably. I want to make a massive gate that goes in to the actual mine itself, which is just going to start off in here and it's just going to extend out. I don't know how big it's going to... Oh, why did I not grab these earlier? Well, we're good. We got plenty. Got plenty, but I'll always take more. Oh my god. Hold up, bro. Where was all this when I was looking for it earlier? Either way, this is absolutely perfect. And it's just gonna slowly but surely lead into the mine. So now I gotta figure out what type of gate I want to do. There are still actually a few more details that I haven't done. So for example, I definitely want to remove all this grass coming in. And then obviously, just like the hammer is coming down over here, I want the hammer to come down there as well. And I can actually see that that block right there is supposed to be amethyst, so it fits in perfectly. Yeah, let's quickly just take out this little area so we can actually finish off this hammer. And just like that, we have the hammer going all the way down. And if it just chops all of this away going into the actual front, the gate is literally gonna be right here. What I can do is I can just quickly remove all of this and oh, we got a giant area down there. But if I just throw in these tough blocks, then I know exactly where the entrance is. I have made my decision. I'm gonna completely and utterly freestyle the gate going into this mine itself. I was looking a little bit around Google trying to find some inspiration and freaking hell, bro. Can you guys like just 1 second? Ooh, zombie villager. Yeah, I don't even know where I was before I got interrupted. Let's find the different materials that I think is gonna work pretty well going into this build. So, now that I'm thinking about it, right? If we take a look at this build right here, the only block that we haven't really used for the actual build is, if I just throw in all of this cobblestone deep slate real quickly, we haven't actually used any of the deep slate bricks. So I think that deep slate bricks is gonna come in very handy. If I take a piece of iron, make myself a quick little furnace, throw 3 pieces of cobblestone in there, and then we just yap it down with this wood. I need myself a stone cutter. And while we wait, let's make ourselves a few more of these, since we are probably gonna need an insane amount. So with a stone cutter, we can make ourselves a good amount of deep slate brick stairs. Probably also some walls. I think that might come in handy. Even some slabs could maybe potentially do something good as well. Then I need to make it simple, but still look, well, at least somewhat good. I think we start off by taking it all the level down just like this. So I gotta go in and correct all of these small little details around. Then what I'm thinking is we gotta make sure this fits in perfectly. So probably be something like a 1, 2, and then same on the other side, and then maybe we go a few blocks in like this, and then once again in just like that. That leaves us with a 2 block in between. So if we fill in the back with all of these, it will just kind of extend up nicely and not be anything too crazy. And we'll probably have to remove a little bit of the roof. I don't think we need to remove all that much, but just a little bit to open it up, just a slight bit more. Let's yap ourselves another layer on top of here, and then in the middle of this, we can grab some of these slabs and kind of make a little bit of a floor. Guys will just excuse me real quick. Then maybe I can throw in stairs on both sides right here. And then I guess if I just extend these kind of towers all the way up, then we want to have some sort of platform right here that isn't all that big, but it's still got to go a little bit out. So I think maybe 3 blocks wide that then goes into these blocks right here in the back. I think this should fill it out nicely. And then obviously from in here, we still got to have some sort of way to get up there from the inside. It almost is supposed to be like a little bit of like an airborne thing like I've talked about earlier, where if there are enemies, you can just easily get up there. It probably just means something simple like this in reality. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy, but just stairways on both sides so you're able to get up there. Let's remove a little bit of all of this annoying dirt. Take that and copy exactly like I did on the other side. Your little bad boy right here, you gotta get the same exact treatment as the other side. And if we throw a quick torch in there and a quick torch in here, we can then just fill this out so we don't have any mobs spawning down there. Pretty simply, we just add a few blocks around here as well so it kind of blocks off. Maybe do that. And then do that, and then in the middle we add ourselves a upside down stair and an upside down stair. Block these guys in there. Did I make any walls? I did make walls. Yeah. I knew I was not. I knew I did that. Then I should probably remove just one layer of the roof right here. I actually do not mind whatsoever that the roof is kind of far down, but I just have the feeling that a little bit of space out here probably do pretty nicely. Yeah, let's just jerk this a little back. Maybe just like this. Let's run outside here, see if we can add a few details, because this is getting very bland. It's definitely getting wildly bland. So maybe, what if we just add walls coming all the way down here? It should add a subtle little texture to it that you won't really see too much of. And maybe potentially, while we're at it, we can even do it all the way on the inside right here. So it does end up blocking off all of the blocks in the back, but you know what, man? I think that's worth it. Maybe if we add stairs? Like if I just add upside down stairs going all the way around. See, it definitely helps on the front. You can tell like there's like a little layer to it. But what if I maybe... You know what it is? I think I know exactly what the issue is right here. Let's remove a few blocks. And then if I take these stairs and run them all the way around, do I have these go all the way down then? I can actually just make it one bigger in this. Yeah, I'll do that. Then I just kind of extend this out so it goes even further out. I definitely think it looks better. What is probably required right here to actually make it look even better is because it's all the same block, and that's kind of what makes it look bad. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. That does not work at all. That's a lot more subtle. Yeah, I definitely dig that much better right there. Then let's remove these two blocks right here, and can I get myself... There they are. Let's do some deep slate stairs so it actually leads kind of inside to the build. And without too much hassle, if I just slowly but surely change the floor going in. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Slowly but surely this is coming together. You just gotta bear with me for a few seconds. I think the issue is that we have to do more on the outside. So maybe something that would be cool for the actual outside of this build. What if like from here and then just kind of going all the way down, which is stay going with stay going. This thing connects all the way over to this pond. So this pond actually ends up connecting all the way down to over there. And then somehow, some way, I think that it should also extend out and go over to the other one. And then we can have some sort of bridge out here. In my head, this definitely makes sense. So I think I should probably test that out, but before we actually do that, subtle details like this right here, where you can definitely tell there's a bit of dirt and a bit of like unfinished stuff, should definitely get fixed. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, let's try and extend out all the way around and see if it helps the feel. And with that, we have this little lake going all the way around. Still so much more to do. I still haven't quite finished everything. And as well as that, just like we've done over here, what I want to do is I want to keep this theme going where we have all of these lily pads, all these different flowers, and everything just kind of leading up to the actual build. But what I'm thinking as well as doing that is I gotta add a few bridges. So from like right here over to the other side where you kind of like enter the pathway to the actual build, I want to add a bridge, and then I think I'm gonna add a bridge right here leading over there, and then the same for here. So it's kind of gonna end up being like a triple bridge little thing, just something simple, but I think it's gonna help just the feel of everything. As well as that, there's still a bunch more details that we can add around this area here, but for now this is definitely a good start. Now for us to be able to do all of this and make all of these different areas of the lake look great, we need a few things for that, and number one is actually bone meal. Once again, we are going to be in dire need for something as simple as bone meal. So replanting these fields right here is going to be a great start. Now, another thing that I want to do is I want to make a trip back for like the million quadrillionth time to the village, because the village just has everything that we need. It's going to have a bunch of lily pads, it's going to have a bunch of clay, because I need to be able to trade with my villagers so I can actually get some durability back on all of my different tools. As well as that, it's gonna have a bunch of ocelots as well, which we are gonna need, bro. We're gonna need a bunch of ocelots to fill this area out and make the water feel active. And hopefully everything can just come together really nice. And I just kind of feel like building this lake around is such a small thing, right? But when it actually comes together, it just feels so much more bright when you go around the area. Like, look how much of a difference it just makes everything look down here, that I actually have these flowers and lily pads going through the water. And in comparison to like over there, like how boring and dead it looks, it's actually insane how much it does. I did also make sure to grab a handful more of lanterns, and I'm gonna keep on trading with my villagers so we can get, well, endless amount of lanterns. But with all of this chopped and put down once again, hopefully it's gonna give it at least a little bit of bone meal. I'm not expecting it to be enough, but I'm definitely expecting it to be a solid start. And like I've already said once before, trying my absolute best to completely stay away from any sort of automated farm, any sort of anything automation. Really want to try my best. I don't know if I'll forever stay away, but for the most part, and as long as I feel like it still makes sense, I want to stay away from all sorts of automation and just literally do everything myself. I want to make sure that I feel that I can keep this world going forever. And with all the ideas that I have right now, there is no ending in sight. Absolutely ever. And we still gotta make sure that every single time we kill a zombie, we add more to our collection around here. And also, very soon when we've finished off this entire area over here, I definitely want to get back to this one right here, extending this thing, going around down here, and maybe even down there as well. And then hopefully we can actually build a bunch of stuff around this area as well. What it might be, I at this moment have absolutely no idea whatsoever, but I do think that I could come up with something that could look really cool. And also, God, I can't wait to just light this area up. I should have just done it, but I need to light this area up and make it look good to keep all of these horrible oh, what's up with it, bro? You're liking this place? Oh, you wait, my man. When this thing actually gets like properly, you'll love it. You are gonna love it. So you might not have as much space because of the lily pads, but you will enjoy yourself. I guarantee. That's a TIFO guarantee. How much does that mean? Probably absolutely nothing, but at least I'm giving it to you. Now the thing is, I would love to bring a bunch of buckets over to the village, but the thing is then, the more buckets I bring, the more axolotls I can bring back, but then at the same time, it's also less clay that I can bring back. I should probably just mine all the clay, turn it back into clay, and then mine it once I get back home. I know that I have like an endless amount of buckets somewhere. I just can't remember where I put them. Okay, that brought us to about over a stack of bone meal. Alright, yeah, there is all the buckets. We got a whole bunch in this chest. So I'm thinking we just make a run over to the actual village, and then we just go to town over there. Do I need to leave anything out of my inventory? I gotta make sure I take as little with me as possible. Nothing too crazy, but at least my axe should in theory be able to get back to full durability from this. Okay, so that took almost a full inventory of clay balls to actually get all of my durability back. But at least for now, this one is going to hold for a while, which is the most important thing. Now, this leaves me with a good amount of space, and it also leaves me with the ability to really get down to business down there. Something we're going to need a lot of, which I don't think I have that much of, is birch wood. Do I only have 8 birch fences? Because I think I only have that. Got a couple more in there. Suppose I grab all the drip leaves while I'm at it. So I need to go crazy somewhere where there's a bunch of birch wood, because we're gonna need it. But while I'm down here, what we can do is we can release a couple more axolotls into our little lake, so we bring a little bit more life. Nothing too crazy, but it's a start. Oh, I got a bunch right here. Perfect. I got 2 stacks of birch right there. Oh, even more here. This is perfect. We got plenty potentially. This is more than enough, at least for now. And then it's gonna be extremely simple. All we gotta do is just go around, throw a bunch of these down, and then this whole area will have a much better level of lighting, which that is going to be nice. That's going to be really, really nice. But before we get into that, what I think I want to start off by doing is I should probably actually fill this area over here a bit up with some wood, so it has a fine, plain level that is consistent with everything else around here. I don't know what but my brain says that this area right here, I want to make some sort of staircase or something going up that's going to lead into something. What it could be, honestly, I have no idea. But when you start mixturing everything in with this area, God, bro, look at this. Look how sick this is turning out. I can do something. I want to do something like with literally everything around here. So the area, like wherever you look, something is going on. Like this right here is not going to stay the way it is right now. I even want to change this. Maybe just something as simple as adding a few flowers to the side of the mountains and stuff like that. Just so that even the mountains themselves have details. I literally think I can work on this area for 1,000 days and still have much more to do. This is when you know you have just found the perfect world to go crazy in. Changes the look of everything a bunch more. I really am starting to like it even more the further we get into it. I definitely still want to do something about these patches of just plain grass, but exactly what I want to do I haven't quite figured out yet. The reason why I kind of want to wait with those to start off is the sides around right here. I want to start adding a few things in, but before I do that, I want to work on the actual lake around here, so we still have a few drip leaves in our inventory. Over there's a good biome filled with a bunch of different flowers which I want to grab. I have myself a decent amount of bone meal at this point right now and some bones that I can turn into bone meal so we can get a bunch of these flowers and then we can finish off the entire lake all the way around. It's still far from being complete, but everything is really coming together nicely. Something I really want to do is light up this area over here because it's really getting annoying with all of these zombies just coming at me all the time. I think you saw that in the actual time lapse earlier, right? Like I was just getting attacked all the time. But let's step number one, go over here and grab some flowers. Yeah, this is perfect, man. Flowers everywhere. Let's just get a crazy amount. That should be more than enough. We don't have too much time left of these 25 days, so we gotta just quickly get to doing this side and this side as well, and hopefully it will turn out nice and we have enough time. Maybe not the most beautiful thing in the entire world, but I'm kind of just thinking this is more so like a temporary thing for now until I can actually get to a point where I'm just really starting to like add a few different things in. I just kind of wanted this area to feel alive and like, I don't know, just kind of make it like look beautiful and kind of stay intact with the entire world that I do have going around here, because you know we are going pretty flower heavy on everything, so I thought, you know, let's just kind of continue it, have a little bit of fun with it, and just kind of do something at least, just to not leave it all completely empty until I actually figure out exactly what I want to do with this area. But if we take a step back, this area looks really cool, bro. It actually really does look really cool. I'm actually liking the flowers as well. Even though it's a bit overkill, it kind of works. And as well as that, I've been really contemplating and thinking of what I could do up here. So I definitely want to remove some of this here. I'm gonna probably just make another bridge around and about right here that goes over, and then some sort of stairway up. And now what I'm gonna do up there is I'm not gonna do anything special. I'm just gonna build a nether portal in there in like a cool way. So maybe it could be in like a skull or like a dragon head or just something in that realm. I think that could look really cool. Maybe we would have like some lava running down the sides. There's a lot of things that I could do with that. I know we have the nether portal up there, but I just feel like it would look so cool to have one down here. I think that's going to be one of the big projects for the next video. But like an overall, this has turned out absolutely freaking incredible. Still a lot more to do with this. It is far from done. Oh wow, what the... That spider just committed words I don't want to say on video. But yeah, we still have so much that we can do inside this place right here, and still a lot more things in general that I want to do in here. Not just can, but also want to. So it's actually something that I probably should do, is I should grab a few pieces of deep slate and just build a little wall right here to kind of like block off the actual side, shouldn't really require me to get too many different blocks. So if I can just yap a few, there's so many mobs under me, I think. But what the plan is down here is that over time, I'm like slowly but surely extending out this area. So it's not really something where I'm like gonna get into a massive project right away and start removing everything. I want it to be like whenever I need different materials like iron and stuff like that, I go into this place right here and I start mining and start extending out. And then that way it kind of like becomes a big thing over time. So it like slowly but surely just makes a bit of progress all the time. I don't know, something about that just feels like it would be really cool to me. What I can do right now is I can take some of these blocks right here and we can start just building a quick little wall. All I need to do is just around and about right here, just add a few blocks in that goes all the way down to the side. Just exactly like that, so it actually feels like we have ourselves like something in down here, so we can't just like walk in from the sides. Let's quickly run over to the other side right here and take a quick look. Yeah, we got a small little area right here that we gotta make sure is also blocked off. Alright, just like that. Now everything is blocked off and it actually feels like an actual entrance to some sort of cave. And maybe at some point even a giant city, hopefully. Still got to do a little bit more work on the side right here so we have this thing extending. I actually am going to keep this little area down here because I think it would be kind of cool just to have like a little something random right here, like a patch of dirt, and then they can just swim around and still make their way out here. Let's quickly just throw in a couple more things around here so it's finished off. And just like that, everything feels more complete. We still got a little bit of time left, so what I want to do is I want to sprint all the way over to the village and I want to see if I can grab myself a whole bunch of axolotls that we can add into the area. It's only taken me a lifetime, but I have just realized how you actually breed axolotls. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that just unbelievably incredible? I finally figured it out. I just realized I have not actually tried just giving the axolotl the actual fish. I don't know why I've never even like thought of that. That is obviously exactly what you're supposed to do. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just a dummy. Okay, give me that little baby act. Oh my god, they're so cute as well. They are unbelievably cute, those little babies. But that is actually quite perfect. That means that I can breed a bunch of axolotls and get... Wow. Did you just really go over here? Because I bought a bunch of buckets that was just filled with fish inside it. But this guy's like, yeah. Let me just really quickly help you with that, bro. But thankfully now I can just walk around and breed all of these axolotls and we can get a whole bunch. Because it's a lot easier for me to just get a bunch of these fish than it is actually getting the axolotls. Because they spawn a lot more common. Yo, the baby axolotls are way too cute though. They are actually so unbelievably sweet to look at. And according to Google, every 5 minutes you are able to breed the axolotl, so that's actually a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting at least like 20 minutes, but this is fine. Perfectly, actually. This area is going to have so much life in it in such a short amount of time. And with that, we have now done 1/4 of these next 100 days in this cave-only world. This area is hopefully going to look even more insane and even better within the next 75 days. And I'm thinking we do something to this next episode, and we definitely also want to extend out to the side over here and do something over here in the back. The further we go, the better things are gonna get. If you're watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next part. So in the last episode we built 2 giant dwarf statues, and for this episode what I want to do is I want to keep expanding and building out on the area surrounding it. So we're gonna build a giant nether portal, but over to the side right here is where the real stuff is gonna happen today. We are gonna take this horrible looking area and turn it into something much more appealing. So let's get to it. So I spent a few days from day 125 to 127 getting myself a buttload of axolotls that we can add into the area around here. I think just adding in these axolotls is just gonna bring a lot more life, a lot more fun to the area. I think I'm just gonna be happy with it overall. So let's just start dumping an insane amount of axolotls in. And just like that, we have ourselves a couple more axolotls. Okay, maybe not just a couple, maybe a whole lot. I love it. Hopefully they'll actually like spread out themselves and get around to kind of just fill up these other areas than just being around here. Oh my god, this is insane. Have I overkilled? Yes. Do I think it's perfect? Absolutely I do, bro. Look at this. This feels perfect. This feels unbelievably perfect. Now, of course, like every other episode, we gotta have one main objective of the day. And like we talked about in the last one, something up here. I just simply do not quite know what it should be, but I have a few ideas. So what I'm gonna start off by is just slowly build a little bit and then kind of see how everything turns out. Most of the times when I build some of these projects, I have at least some sort of idea. I always freestyle for the most part, but I have some sort of idea where I'm going with this. But for this one, I really don't know if I do. The only thing I know is that I want this to lead up to something, and probably I want to have it lead up to some sort of cool nether portal. But what I'm thinking is that from here all the way over to here, we gotta build some sort of bridge like we've done bridges on these one around here. One thing that I would actually love to do is I want to level this guy up. The reason why I want to level him up is because if I can get a bit of food source from this guy that's actually not bread, but hopefully gonna be the golden carrots, I think I would just really like that. It's gonna be a little expensive leveling him up, but honestly, it is gonna be so worth it. There we are, golden carrots. I want to grab a whole bunch of these, and especially now that he has them on sale, I want to grab even more because that sale might actually go away. And I got plenty of emeralds in here. Nice. I actually have a surprisingly decent amount of emeralds. This is a lot more than I ever thought I'd have. So let's just completely utilize that. That only gives me 36, but that's honestly a really decent amount. It's going to be a much better food source than these bread. I'm so tired of eating bread because it just runs out so quick. Let's try and do a suspicious stew. Let's see what happens. Night vision. Lovely. Man, that's kind of trippy. So let's quickly take one of these bridges right here that we've already done and just replicate it right here. Simple and quick, should take no time. Alright, just a simple little bridge right here, nothing too special. But what I want to do with this is then from here, I want to start building something going up. I definitely don't want to use birds for that, so I gotta use some sort of different block that I feel make a lot more sense going into a place like this. I think andesite might actually look pretty decent, but one thing I also want to do to change everything to being perfection is we gotta just throw in these tough blocks on the side right here, so it kind of keeps going with the thing that we've been doing all around. So if you can remove all of these and replace them with top blocks and then just do this, it's gonna make everything fit in much better. I brought my stone cutter, so let's throw that down, and then I already have a bunch of polished andesite stairs. Maybe we mixture it in with some normal andesite stairs, so it's gonna be like half thing. Then all I gotta do now is come up with some sort of interesting build that I think works here. This is probably what's going to be the main challenge. So I ended up yapping for a while about what type of build I wanted to build, and I just simply couldn't figure out what in the world that I wanted to do. But then I finally came up with the idea, so I'm just going to scratch all of my yapping and we're going to go straight to the actual idea that I figured out that I wanted to do. Because for some reason, I just could not decide what... Bro, I don't know what happened, bro, but my mind was all over the place. Finally, I made up my mind. About time. Here is what I came up with. Scratch that entire idea. I think I want to build a giant sword portal instead, because I was like looking around and I was like, I don't think a giant skull actually works in this area, because when you really take a look at the area down there, it feels much more like a happy-go-lucky area, if you know what I mean, right? So having a giant skull on the side kind of feels wrong. I think a giant sword on the side to mix them in with the statues that we already have, I feel like it would look so much cooler. It is going to require me to get a whole bunch more obsidian, which is not an issue. We're just going to have to, you know, spend a little bit of time, but it'll be okay. Only thing that might be a little annoying is now we have to go into the nether. So let's grab ourselves a pair of golden boots so we don't have any piglins attacking us. And then I just want to get myself a crazy amount of crimson wood. I also want to get a buttload of blackstone. And a few more pieces of obsidian. Let's see what we can do around here. Not quite complete yet, but it's definitely a solid start that I've brought me to right here. So what I'm thinking for now is I actually want to light it up just to kind of see how much else I want to do around it, because I definitely know for a fact that I'm far from done, but I just gotta exactly figure out what else I want to add into it. Alrighty, let's light it up and see how it feels. I definitely really like it. I think it looks very freaking cool. Now my question is, how do I do the surroundings of it? Because I kind of feel like having it go up like that and disappear into the actual mountain is kind of cool. Like, I'm actually liking the idea of that. I was contemplating if I should start removing a bunch, but it kind of looks really cool that it just goes away into the actual top of it. Maybe something I could do is if I go into the nether and grab myself a handful of glowstone, maybe I could add some subtle glowstones in the background that you can't actually see, but it will help light up the area. Let's try and start off by removing this entire area. I feel like opening it a bit more up kind of helped a little bit. So what I want to do now is that since it's not really quite connecting too well with the bridge over to the portal, since we made the portal 3 and this bridge is only 2, what I really quickly want to do is actually want to take the bridge and just make it 1 block bigger. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. Now it's not completely messing up my brain when I look that way. So what I want to do next is I want to grab a few more of these tough blocks. And then kind of in the same field that we've done right here, just leading all the way up to the actual portal itself, let's change out these blocks for tough blocks. And dirt in the sides right here is perfectly fine. And then for the actual ground itself leading into the portal, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to lower these 1 layer down. I do have a handful of polish right here, so we can just grab that and then just throw a handful into our stone cutter, which this is probably going to be enough right here. Then we can just quickly change out the entire ground, and this should make everything look much better, just with a quick simple little touch like this. Is this a joke to you? You are telling me literally 1. That's really what we're going with? Literally 1 piece? Of course. Because that is always how it works. Then we take a step back and that looks much better. Just a simple little entrance, nothing too crazy, but it helps. So then if we just slowly but surely walk up here, this looks good, bro. Just like this right here, nothing too crazy, just simple and solid. I really like that. I think that's the way I'm gonna leave it all for now, because I don't want to spend this entire episode just working on this portal right here, but I do think it looks really cool, so let's step forward, go into something else, and continue expanding the world itself. Yeah, like if you come from the side right here, like I really also like the top as well. I do think it looks solid. Maybe I could do a few more details up there at some point. I think I should do that probably. What I really want to do now is I want to take this area over here and kind of build it out in a sense where it feels like that's kind of where this place stops. The way I want to do it isn't actually going to be too complicated. I'm thinking of grabbing myself a bunch of different cobblestone and mossy cobblestone, maybe like some stone bricks and stuff like that, mixturing that in with maybe somewhere around here, built like a house and then like a windmill next to it with like some farms, just slowly going down to this area. Just not in a sense farms like these right here, but more like a raw farm. So I'm actually gonna probably need a whole bunch of dirt as well to kind of fill the area up, and I want to have like a bit of a hill going up. But to do this, like I said, I'm gonna need a handful of cobblestone, which we actually really don't have all that much cobblestone right now. Why is it when you build areas always end up like this right here, where you just have yourselves a bunch of junk chests because you just grab a bunch of things, end up not using half of it, and now it just looks terrible. I guess that's just the way of the game, right? But the plan should be pretty simple. I first off want to check, do I even have any cobblestone left? Because I'm 99% sure that I probably spent all of it. Yeah, I really don't have much cobblestone left right now, but that's alright though. What I want to do is I also want to make sure I grab a decent amount of tuff, because I'm probably going to put in a bunch of tuff to the build as well. Dark oak might come in really handy. I think I actually might utilize a bunch of dark oak. I'm just going to grab a bunch of things from this area right here, because I kind of want to clear out a bit of these different chests and all of this stuff that I actually have laying around in here. It actually could end up coming handy in the build. So just like we did over there, let's make ourselves a new chest monster over here with a bunch of different materials that I'll hopefully actually use this time. And I'll take a bunch of dirt with me, because we're gonna probably end up using so much. And then last but not least, all I gotta do is I just gotta grab myself a few stacks of cobblestone. Actually, scratch that. I'm not gonna need cobblestone. I'm gonna need actual stone. so I can turn it into stone bricks. And then what we can also do is we can grab a good amount of these vines right here, because that will actually make the... Isn't that how it does it? Right there, and then in there, and then we can make mossy. Yeah, ooh, that's gonna look good. Yeah, so if I just grab myself a decent amount of vines as well, it should actually make it look really, really nice. You can mix in a bit of mossy cobblestone, and like, yeah, this is gonna look nice. This really shouldn't be too rough. I think about 5 stacks is probably gonna more than do it. That's probably actually way too much, but I'd rather just take a little too much. Alrighty, that should probably do it for now, so let's just get back there and start working on this build. Gotta first do one of the most important things in the entire world. We gotta talk to a couple of villagers and get a bunch more lanterns. Thank you, good sir. Thank you to you as well. Last but not least, thank you to you, my guy. So let's start off by just kind of building up the area and see how it goes. That brings the area a little bit more under control. So then what I want to do right now is I've just made this wall right here where I just want to start growing a few vines so we can actually make ourselves a bunch of mossy cobblestone and just stone in general. So this should just quickly start growing by itself in no time, and then we can start utilizing it all and hopefully implement it pretty nicely into the build. So overall the plan is going to be pretty simple. What I'm trying to do is I'm just going to try and randomly a little bit build up like a little wall right here. So what it's going to have is I need a whole bunch of bricks actually. I want to just add in a few bricks and like mossy and just kind of slowly but surely like just build it up going over here. So I wanted to reach the side of the mountain connecting over to the house. So it's going to be very, very simple overall. I want to mixture in like a good amount of different blocks for the most part. Trying to keep it a little bit random but not too random. The further it gets over, the bigger it actually gets. So I'm gonna just remove a little bit right here, and the further over we get, we just raise everything a couple of layers, so it just gets higher and higher the further we go over. Now in front of this I might end up adding a few pieces of dirt, but for now I want to wait with that. Then in the back right here I actually want to build another wall like this, but just a bit taller, and this one is gonna go all the way from over here, so we're actually gonna need to throw down a few more pieces of dirt. I want to make sure I have a solid plain level in terms of dirt all the way around. Plus it gives me a very nice excuse to remove a bunch of dirt from my chest. So then from here all the way over to the side, all I want to do now is just add in a wall just like I did over there. Then I can just add a few more details around like this right here, just so it kind of fills out the entire area, just like that. Perfect. That's so then my keyboard started bugging out. Guess what I did?
Starter oplæg. Oplæser dialogbox. Minecraft. Oplæg.
Lost a couple of keys, but it did fix it. That gives us something like this right here. So then what we gotta do is inside here, we gotta kind of extend up the entire way with dirt. So if we just maybe from around and about here, so it gets a little further in than just the front of it. Then from here, everything just raises up. I should probably throw down some lanterns for my safety around here. And there goes my shield. Of course. Add another one to the Shields Gone collection. But yeah, then quickly just extending this up a few layers should really help. I think it's gonna work. I don't quite like that, so let's try and remove a little bit of it, and then maybe what I do instead of having it, so then maybe let's try and see this. Wanted maybe to take a little bit longer until it goes up. So then instead of it being really steep the way it goes up, you kind of give it a little bit of breathing room to just have a couple extra blocks before it reaches that height. Let's try and take a step back. Yeah, that looks a bit more realistic, like the way it just slowly but surely goes up. I work with that better. Yeah, that seems more realistic to me. Then if I can just fill out this area up here, and then even to the side here, like about here, I wanted to then go up once again. And honestly, I don't think, I don't think I wanted to go too high up here. I think I might actually just have it go this one level higher. So then these are like here, and you have the dirt right under. Then I just gotta fill out this entire area, and then I gotta find the right spot for me to put the house and then the windmill. And then obviously we gotta have some sort of ending point. So I think in the back right here, we just add another wall like we did on the front. Before we start doing too much work on this area right here, I want to get down a schematic for the actual windmill, because the windmill doesn't need to be all that massive, but obviously I gotta know exactly how much space I'm gonna need. That should in turn make it a lot easier to actually just put down a wall. So if we run down to our chest and see what type of wood we have lying around, which is probably dark oak logs are more than fine for me. I really actually like dark oak a lot, so I think that's definitely something that I want to build with. I do definitely feel like I'm gonna need a lot more than just 57, but I do have a tree up here. How many trees do I even have? Because I've forgotten to replant them a bunch of times, so I'm probably pretty low. Yeah, I only got this one now. This is my own fault. Alright, we can let this fall down and we can get to work. I gotta just remember to get over here within 5 minutes. Everything is gonna look a lot nicer when the actual grass is spread everywhere around here as well. But for the windmill, everything is actually gonna be rather simple. I need to grab myself a door because I do actually want to put that down right away. So if we just figure out probably right here is where the actual entrance is going to be. So then we do a dark oak log on each side, which we definitely will strip down. That's 100% for sure. Then all I would need to do is just do a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3. I think a 3x3 is perfect. Then what I can do is I can just raise it all the way around 3 blocks. Which obviously we gotta strip it all down. I think stripping down wood is like one of the greatest things this game has ever actually added in for real. How did you get up here, bro? I thought I would make this area at least somewhat safe. Oh, never mind. I haven't. You can just literally walk up right there. Doesn't matter. We're gonna add in the wall. Damn, this whole thing only dropped 2 saplings. Thank God I had 2 already. That could have been really rough actually. I'd have had to run all the way out somewhere and had to find new ones. I should probably actually throw down a couple of lanterns around these parts. I gotta do something about the area around the house as well and like up the sides. There's definitely still so much more work to do around. This is awesome. It is awesome, man. It's just a really good thing having to just so much to do. Probably throw down a couple of trees and then just chop them down as well. One thing that we are gonna need is definitely more lanterns. I have 5 left. That's not gonna cut it. This ain't no TIFO video without putting down at least 500 lanterns. It almost feels like it at this point that it's like actually that outrageous the amount I do. I gotta keep remembering to buy some bread as well so we can actually have more of these guys start breeding. I don't even think we have enough beds in here. I need to get a way to get some more wool. I do have the spider farm over there, but I really don't want to actually like start working on a freaking spider farm to get wool. I might just have to visit a mine. I probably, you know what, man? I should just try and visit another mine and just grab all of the spider webs that's in there. That should be a bunch of string easily. And if you just drop me 1 more sapling, I can replant. Oh, there it is. Alright, then we can keep moving. Let's just utilize some of this wood to make some stairs. Should make it a lot easier to get up and down. Just like this, we just gotta build slowly but surely up. In terms of height, I think I want to go about maybe like 12, 15 blocks high. But if I just really quick add in 1 layer around here, I can put in something that I think I would like. Let's just do 2. See, because what I want to add in, if I grab some of these slabs right here, I want to add in a front to this. So maybe something that would... Ooh, I actually have an idea right here. Alright, so what we do is we take a couple of stairs and add them in just like this right here. So it has this nice little front. And then around the sides, we just add these in. Just like that. But then once we come out to the side, we do the same thing with the stairs. So I need a couple more. Then we just add in 1 and just make sure it connects into the side nicely. Then a slab to the side. And that gives us something like this going all the way around. And I am now realizing I would like this to go 1 layer up. I think this is, yeah, this is too low. I'll show you exactly why I think it's too low. Alright, that looks much better. So what I need to do now is I need to make myself a couple of fences. So that we can throw down fences on each side and we can then grab our lanterns so the lanterns aren't actually hitting the ground. That's exactly the reasoning why. That should give a good subtle little lighting without having to do too much. And you know what, man? I might just even overcook it and just throw down on each side some extra just to really light the area up. Then all I need to do now is just finish the rest of it off and we should have ourselves a perfect little windmill. Alrighty, that finishes off the windmill at least for now. I don't really particularly actually love the roof, but What if I just literally like remove a block like this right here? Just, I think something just simple as literally just removing that one piece could actually make it look better. Yeah, I actually like that, bro. I think because it looks a little too clean, if that makes sense. So literally just going around, removing this simple one piece is perfect. And then now that we got these godforsaken phantoms right here, that means that we need to take ourselves a little nap. That actually also gives us the perfect opportunity to just kind of come from the side right here and see how... Yeah, I like this, man. I like this, bro. This looks nice. This actually looks really nice, and I like taking just that one piece off the side. I think it actually genuinely helps. The next step now is to add in this sort of house right here. It's not necessarily going to be a house, more like a tavern or something like that. I don't exactly know what I'm going for, but we'll kind of just take it as it comes. And just to clear out my inventory a little bit, we can just leave some flowers down there because we are really running out of space right now. But the house itself does not need to be something crazy big, just needs to have like a solid decent size. What I think I'm going to do for this build is I'm going to do oak planks and strip down oak logs. So it should be pretty simple if we just kind of do something like, I think I might actually just place down a block right here and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably have it go out to about here, so we still have a good amount of area to walk through. And let's try and throw something down right here and see how it turns out. It's slowly but surely coming together. I'm completely out of all the materials that I do need right now. But there are still like a couple of fun things that I maybe want to do. Like maybe I just like add in these going all the way through the front of the house. That could maybe work. I've never really been all that great with like details and stuff like that in builds, so I'm trying to become better. I'll definitely say I'm far from doing well, but it's a start. It's just like a subtle little detail like that. I feel like it helps. I also added in a few sweetberry bushes to the side just to add in some color. I need to go grab some more glass though. I also need to go grab even more wood, which these trees have not grown actually. Nothing bone meal won't fix. Oh, this is starting to look really cool, man. I need to add a block under there for the front though. Well, let's just quickly talk to this nice guy right here. He can grab me a little bit more glass. Let's just take a half a stack. And while we are up here right now, something that I should probably do is I should actually enchant my boots. They're almost about to break. I just want to get these going and put some mending on them. Where is the guy that sells mending though? I guess I do need you because I don't know if I have any other books. And this guy right here is the guy that sells mending. So let me grab my emeralds. Thank you, good sir, for the mending. Then come on, you beauty. Give me something good. Don't just give me like a horrible enchant. Protection 3. That is horrible. Why? Why? I have 4 diamonds right here. So do I have any other diamonds laying around? Yeah, I got 23 deep slate iron ores right here. Let's pop that beauty down. That gives me 5 for helmet. Then I suppose we can see if that's gonna give us a better enchantment, because I'm not taking protection 3. I'm just not doing that. Protection 3. Oh, you son of a gun. Ooh, unbreaking 3 on a book. But that will... Nah, you know what? Nah. I'm gonna just enchant 1 book. Hopefully, please give me better enchants now. This is Unbreaking 3. That could be nice. This one will have Aqua Infinity. I'm gonna go with the Unbreaking. Protection, Depth Strider. I got it. Sure. I don't really care. I'm just happy with the protection. That's all I wanted. That right there is all I wanted. Let's see what it would give me next time for the helmet. Protection. Okay. Let's see. Aqua Infinity. Love it. Blast protection. You've got to be shitting. Alright, there's an Unbreaking 3. So next time we hit level 30, that should be a good enchant. Well, at least hopefully it is. But we can run over to the Anvilus and throw the Mending Book on the boots. That's gonna only cost me 4 levels. That's gonna give me protection 4, Unbreaking, and Feather Falling. Oh! Oh, wait, what am I talking about? I just added the completely wrong thing. I was supposed to add Mending. There we are. I suppose then I'll try and grab some Feather Falling. Feather Falling, actually, you know what, man? That was an accident, but kind of a good one. I will end up needing that. Happy mistake sometime. Did it really not drop a single more sapling? I wasn't gone for 5 minutes. I know that for a fact. It did not drop me a single more sapling. That means I now do not have access to Dark Oak because these things things apparently don't drop sap. Are you actually kidding me though? This is some real fugaziness. Alright, that means that I'll have to go out and find that. But for now, what I can do is I can finish the last bit of this house off just by adding the windows around. And then if we walk out to the front right here, what I want to add at the top, I just want to add a simple slab right there because it's going to make it look much nicer. Then on each side, I'm going to just add that with some, yeah, that probably should do it. Yeah, that's a fine way to light it up. Then probably just right here at the house, so it gets a bit more lighting there as well. Either that, or do I really need to... do I need to do the reverse stairs all the way up? I do, don't I? I kind of do. That looks much better. Yeah, that looks 20 times better. I have to do that. So then maybe I have to add another slab, and then that, and then here. I want to have some sort of lighting up there. Yeah, that's what we're going with. So then instead of having it inside there, it's just gonna be on the outsides instead. Oh, that's fine. That works perfectly fine. And then just like we did on the other side, we have to extend this thing all the way up. Just gotta quickly turn this into polished diorite. And yeah, I ended up using diorite instead of oak because I feel like it looks better. So then with these last few touches, this house is in theory done. And just like that, the house is now complete. Should we do to each side right here with... yeah, let's do that. Nah. Is that too much? That's too much. Yeah, it looks better without. I need to still do the inside though. And I also still need to do the inside right here. But that's not the most important thing right now. What is important is that we take this wall that we have right here, extend it going all the way around, and just kind of ends up going into that. And then we can start turning this area around here into some sort of farm or something like that. And I really need to go find some dark oak saplings now. That's really annoying that I lost them. Something to really bring life into the area up there, so probably we just want to add in a bunch of potatoes, carrots, and wheats. So let's just grab a bunch of those. Then maybe I could grow a couple of cherry trees and grab the actual leaves from those. And now all we gotta do is just kind of dig out this area a little bit and make it look, well, 20 times better than it does now. And what I'm thinking is we gotta build some sort of pathway going up here. So maybe if we throw down a couple of things like this, and then I grab my shovel, and just like I've done over here, I just kind of do this to make like pathways going through the different buildings. And then over here in the back, which you saw the time lapse of, what I want to do is I just want to literally have this become like one giant wheat farm. I suppose what I probably should do now that I think about it is if I can just make sure everything is trimmed down. Actually, it doesn't really matter, that stuff out there. But if I just remove a little bit of this, all I gotta do is just make sure that no steps around here is... Actually, so that means this one as well. So if I just take all of these steps down, this should in theory mean that not one single skeleton or anything like that or a zombie can actually spawn around this area, which should make it so that I don't have to worry about building anything around here. We can just keep the wheat farm and have it look solid. So if I just do that, I suppose I could just take these right here and switch those out. Probably can't even see it from down there, but then at least I've done the subtle little details. Then now all I gotta do is just transform all of this down here to one giant wheat field, and I'll probably end up having to use a handful more of lanterns going down the sides and stuff like that, so actually everything is lit up and I can plant everything. But if I just go around adding like a few here and there, this could actually be quite cool, I think. I feel like this is going to look really good as soon as it's all grown up. It misses a spot right here though. This area right here is where we definitely need to bring something in. So what I'm thinking is something quite simple. Let's just right here throw down a bunch of birch wood. So we have something like this right here, and then like we do that where we just put the rails going over. I don't know why, but that just kind of looks solid. And in the background, I want to grab a bunch of these lilacs and just add in so it brings a little bit more life to it. And in the back right here, which we aren't really going to see all that much, I'm just going to throw in a bunch of hay bales to the area. I was contemplating actually changing this out out for grass, but I feel like it kind of makes a little bit of sense there being just a little bit of stone around the area so it isn't completely all grass. Maybe what we could even do is just throw down a few pieces of iron, just I don't know. Just for some odd reason we do it. Then maybe just a few more Liliacs to really get the area feeling alive. Then this one's gotta go though. Then maybe what I could do is just add a few fences from out the house and just throw that. Let's extend them by one. Just so it kind of has like some sort of entrance going into the house. And what we should do is we should make some sort of build inside the actual house. Now it doesn't need to be anything too crazy. All I'm thinking is if I just start off by removing the entire floor on both sides. And then we just fill in the entire floor with dark oak slabs. And then since I don't really have too many different things in terms of storage, what I'll do is I'll actually just throw in a bunch of different ores inside the house, because it's really like the only thing that I got that I can find in terms of decoration right now. So let's just throw everything in on both sides, just something like this right here. And then the last one, guess we get a bit more iron in, and that just gives us something like this inside the house. So it's just like a storage facility for ores. At least I did the interior, it's better than nothing. And then while we are here, obviously we should also really quickly finish off this thing. So if I just quickly clear out the floor, and then in the floor what I put in is actually just the same thing. Let's just do oak slabs once again. It kind of is like what makes the most sense actually, so let's just do that. And then, you know what, man? Since I really don't have anything else, we are just gonna do this. Gonna throw in a few pieces of ores inside here, some sort of weird storage thing. Let's do that, and then at least it's got something, right? This is the best decoration you've ever seen, my man. Can't come and tell me I'm not doing details out here. And I think that's probably all I'll do for the area up here. There's no reason to overdo it any more than that. Maybe if I add a couple of flowers to the sides here. But what I want to do now is I'll probably remove this one actually. And then slowly but surely build this thing going down, so that we have ourselves a full pathway to the entirety of this. So that would probably end up looking something like this right here. Let's take a step down. Yeah, I think that actually works fine. Then we should probably just change these as well, just to kind of keep intact with everything. And then when we come down here, we do the extension of that and just have it go out to some sort of area out here where it can, maybe actually we do this right here, so we have them go in a couple of different ways. If I can connect this one all the way over to the bridge, that would actually be fantastic. Down here, and then we have the path going all the way over. Do I have any more birds fences? I have oak, which is not what I need. Do I have birds? Maybe I have birds over here. Yes, I do. 35. Then we should probably just throw down a couple of birds fences going into the actual area over here. Have some sort of lighting as well. It's just something simple like this. You know what? I'm gonna do that one as well, and that one as well. Yeah, that's better. Then we have it going all the way into the area up here. Moving forward, getting up. Perfect. Then up here, since we are staying intact with the oak fence feel, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw in a couple more of these. And maybe one out to the side right here. I just really want to make sure that everything is as lit up as it can be. So when I come up here, I feel like this area right here looks just a little empty. So if I just grab this right here and remove a little bit to just put in a bit more water. And then since I do have a bunch of leftover carrots, what we can do is we can just throw in a couple of carrots around this area. Alright, so when they grow up, it's just going to give a little bit of a better look to the area. Then that's probably all I should actually do up here. It doesn't need to be anything more than this. Then what we want to do now is we want to go down here. Here is still where a lot of work needs to be done. I think my starting point will be to build something going all the way through the wall right here. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, but just something. And then as well as that, what I have to do is this entire area right here. I should fill all of this in with dirt so it comes up to the same layer as everything else around here. I just ran past this right here and realized that I never actually ended up putting tough blocks in this place right here. So let's quickly just fix this little mistake, so that we have this area completely fine. And now that this is all filled in, we have to build some sort of pattern where I can throw in these different forms. And I actually don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. I actually kind of think it's going to be pretty simple. What I'm going to start off by doing is extending this pathway inside to the actual area right here. Then what I want to do then is I'm probably going to have to go and find a little bit more cobblestone, because I want to build some sort of just really not that big, but just a small little cobblestone wall going from this side and then this side around as well, so it kind of mixtures in with this up here. And then maybe even on top of that, I kind of extend this wall going further in right here. So if I can just go up and grab 2 stacks of cobblestone, I think that should be good. I got a bunch of stone right here, but I just simply have no cobblestone right now. Then a simple little way to just light the area up a bit more is just add lanterns all the way through. I think this is going to look actually pretty nice. And we can even go up here on top of this and just add a couple more around here so we make sure it is as lit up as it possibly can be. We'll probably need to make a couple of fence gates, so that in an area like this right here, we can just add this in and it shouldn't be... Yeah, let's do that. I suppose while we're at it, let's add 2 more lanterns because we need as many lanterns as we can get. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do that and then remove this one piece right here because it just feels a little off. I think it being a little bit more open like this right here would probably work. Now we gotta build the farms. I feel like just extending this thing going through the entire area from the front all the way in is probably going to be a nice little easy touch just to fill it out a bit. Then what I'm thinking is we just add these going all the way through from side to side, and we also have to make a pathway that connects over here. I think it's just going to be a 1-lane path that just extends out and connects to right there, and then just these simple... Perfect. And then I suppose it would make sense for it to just kind of go in here as well. And then right here, it just kind of stops. So that means that we can do a little bit of this. We can do a little bit in this area, this one, and over here. So a simple one to do is just take this area right here and just turn it into a potato farm. Let's start it off simply by just making a little pond right here, so we can actually utilize the water to be able to plant down everything. Not sure if it will actually be able to go all the way over, so let's just pop a piece of water down there, and I think that now everything should be able to be planted down. And I got my potatoes right here, which we're just gonna fill in. And then we should probably just add these going all the way through just like that. You can even just take like the middle one right here and just turn that into a fence gate as well. So then that basically brings us our potato farm. Then I think this little just area over here that we have that we can't really do too much with this area. I think I'm just going to make it potatoes as well. That completes this side of it. No, you don't, bro. Don't do that. You cannot just go around here and ruin my farms. I don't care how much damage you can do. You're dying. Get out of here, man. Don't ruin my farms. That is ultimate disrespect. I am not having that. Alright, I don't remember exactly where I was, but I'm just going to turn this place into a carrot farm. And I'm thinking this area right here is also just going to be a carrot farm. And just like that, this area looks so much nicer, man. I am really loving the feel of this area. I can see one spot, there should be a lantern right here. Yeah, and now it's perfect. Now, that was what was needed, man. I knew there was one thing that was needed. That was that one block right there. Now it is exactly the way I wanted it. This right here is actually quite awesome. What that does is that brings us to the last little bit right here of just the outside right here, going up to everything, and then probably the front down here. For the outside right here over at the wall, I think all that's really needed is just to throw these in. I really genuinely don't even think it's necessary to come up with some like extreme anything over the top crazy build. I think just having these things right here just kind of makes everything look a little bit nicer. If just remove a little bit of this just to kind of replace it like that, it looks a little bit more like that shouldn't just go out there. And then when we walk up here, oh man. Yo, I am loving this. What I think I should probably actually do, should add some more sweet berry bushes. I think that could actually work nice down here. So maybe all the way in front of all these, we just add in the sweet berry bushes. So as soon as they grow up, it's going to have like a much nicer look. Maybe what I could do is make a couple of cobblestone walls. And then, for example, like right in the middle right here, we could replace that so it brings just a little bit of lighting into the area. And then if we just remove a couple of blocks going through here and just grab a little bit of water, just quickly dump all of this in right here. And then maybe what I do is I just add more berry bushes going through over to the wall. Maybe we even extend the birds fences going through here. And then maybe we throw down a wall like right there to just pop that in. Let's do the same up there just to bring a little bit more lighting to the area. Just having a little bit of some open space is not too bad. And with these last few things put in place, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it up here for this one. For this area right here, my idea has become a little bigger than what I can do in the last 3 days. So I'd rather just throw those in for the next episode and do a much better and more complete project than starting on something and not being able to actually complete it. But if we take a step back and look up here, man, this is starting to become so freaking incredible. If we run through this area and just take a look inside our farm right here, where when everything is grown, it's gonna look so freaking good. The way we just walk up here and this area is just looking absolutely phenomenal. I am loving this place so much, man. It's actually genuinely getting freaking incredible, man. I am so happy with how this world is progressing. I need to get even better, even more beautiful, and that is obviously the plan. But if you want a quick prediction for what I'm thinking for next episode, this area right here is gonna get filled out. We're gonna build something incredible and much better than just something quick and random. And then I think it's time for this area right here to actually become something, because I am definitely tired of having all of these mobs spawn here all the time, and as well as that, I'm also just tired of this place not looking good. You have all of these beautiful things on top of it, but nothing great here. That's just not good enough. So with that, thank you so much for watching this episode. Make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you have any ideas for anything that I can do in this world, let me know in the comments below. And with a last little spin around for everything, this place is looking incredible. So now that we've finished this area up here, it's time for us to tackle our next project. Like I said in the last episode, we needed a little bit of extra time to actually do something that's quite significant and not just looking absolutely poor, but something that really actually feels like it's worth putting into this area. But we have one giant issue, and that issue is that, well, I'm a dummy. We had ourselves plenty of dark oak saplings, but of course, as always, I make mistakes and I just ended up going from having a couple of dark oak trees to literally having 3 saplings left, which, well, you need 4 to even grow a tree, so that is quite the problem. Now what this means is that we will have to go out on a little journey that hopefully will not take that long, and we're just gonna grab ourselves a few more saplings. I can see right away as well that I need to really quick go up and trade with a villager to actually get some more food, because I don't really want to run out of food halfway through. So let's quickly just trade with this guy right here. 28 will hold for a little while. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these are also my last emeralds, which is also kind of a big issue. Since I've gone this way over here a few times without really any success, I think I'm gonna go just this way down here, in hopes of seeing I can find some dark oak sapling. So I've emptied out my inventory as much as I possibly can. I think that we're just gonna make a run down there and hopefully we can get all that we need. Oh, wait a minute, man. Before I make any mistakes, which I've actually been pretty proud of myself as of yet, I need to grab myself a shield since I've actually not had a shield for a little while. Should probably also swap out my bad helmet for this helmet since it has no durability left. Let's make a journey this way that hopefully won't take too long, and please just give me some dark oak saplings so I can get going with building even more to this wonderful freaking area that we're building right here. I think everything around here looks so dope, man. Alright, let the hunt for a dark oak sapling commence. Let's definitely grab that beauty. Oh, it's just gonna be a 1. There's also a little geode just right in the ground right here. I'll just keep that in mind for the future. Yeah, this is not quite what I would like to see. Ooh, that is though. Wait, actually this might actually be what I like to see. Look what we have right here. We have this area that probably in theory leads into so much iron around here. We can probably get an outrageous amount of iron by just mining a little bit right here. Oh my god, bro, but I gotta be careful, man. Gotta be really careful around these parts. A lot of creepers, it seems. But if we just have like iron like this all over in the ground like we had way back at the start. Yeah, exactly. Literally this right here. There's just iron everywhere here. Oh, this is phenomenal. Look at this. Oh my god, there's even diamonds. Let's freaking go. Alright, so apparently I ended up spawning a warden. I literally just pressed the recording off, and the second I did, an actual warden spawned. I don't know exactly where he is, but we are not gonna actually... So we're just gonna get away from here now. We are not at all even remotely prepared for anything like that. So I did end up getting a lot of iron. Look at that. There's even more here. I think I'm actually going to be safe in a place like this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be happy with these 3 stacks of iron that I've gotten. And I can always, now I know this is here and it's actually really, really close by my base. So I can always just come back. Oh, there's so many diamonds around here though. Look at that. Look at that. Dark oak trees right there. And it's a lost biome right here. Perfect. So this might actually be a 2-in-1, because if I can grab myself some clay around here, I can then also gather a bunch of emerald, and there's clay as well. Grab these trees right here so we can get some saplings, and then we're also going to grab as much clay as we can. And then we're going to get home, because we don't have time to waste, man. We're trying to do as much as we can in as little time as possible, so we don't have any time to waste. 5 saplings mean we can go 2 trees, because we already got 3 at home, so that's perfect. Now I'm just going to grab a bunch of clay. And then of course we can't leave behind these beauties. That gives me a pretty solid full inventory with a whole bunch of diamonds, which is quite nice. And I know I could just stack all of these clay balls and then just do this, turn them into clay, and then when I go back I could put them all down and then do it again, but I can't be bothered to do that. So let's just get back home and let's start working on this. Back home so we can start off by doing a bunch of trade resort villages for the clay. Alright, that gives me at least a little bit of emerald once again. All of this clay inside here so we know where it is, and we can always come back and do a bunch of trading. Then now, we can tackle this area. So let's start off by making ourselves a shear and take all of these down so we can remove this entire wall. And then what I think I'll do is I'll build some sort of house right here, where inside the house, that's where I have my vine farms. Because I'm actually quite liking using these vines down here. I think it looks so good when you build these walls. Let's try and fit a house into the side of this little hill right here. We haven't done any sort of building yet with granite, so I want to grab some granite and actually utilize that in this build. Now, I won't claim to be the smartest guy in the room, but I feel like I have a problem right here. I feel like something right here didn't quite go as I planned. I think I need to redo that real quick. I swear to you, I did not do this on purpose. I swear on my life, I did not do that on purpose. Alright, let's take, that will be take number 3. Let's try it once again. Now it should be correct. Alright, there we are. Finally, I actually did it correctly. So then now what we gotta do is we gotta get onto the sides right here and start working in there. So for the actual house itself, it's just gonna go in to the actual mountain. So I'm just gonna have to throw in basically just a few walls like this right here, so you aren't actually able to notice the side itself when you walk through around here. If you just build this up very simply actually, and just throw a couple blocks in like this right here, so that it just motions into the actual mountain itself, then on the inside, I will actually end up changing all of this out, but just not on the outside. Like everything behind these blocks will be changed because I'm obviously going to go inside the actual house and fill it in. But just for the outside right here, this is actually all you're going to be able to see. I want to extend it from the top into the actual back of this mountain, and that's probably going to be the length of the build, is just from here into there. So what I can do is I can just take these last few blocks and build up to this height and then just fill it in going all the way through. And I'll just throw this in right here so we have a bit of lighting. But then all I need to do is just take this right here and go all the way over to the actual end of the mountain. That'll just be here. Here is where the actual build itself ends. And then we can have this go all the way down when we get inside. Just adding a few blocks in like this right here makes it look a bit more natural. But then what we have is we just have this extending all the way over, which we can actually remove all of these because these are the ones that we'll need to do at some point either way. So we just do that, fill this all the way through, and then just do a line all the way in with all of this granite to fill it out. And then I'll probably end up needing, either I do glass on the side right here, or I do these fences. I'm kind of almost leaning more towards glasses than fences now that I think about it. I don't exactly know why, but I just kind of feel like glass would look a little bit better than these will. I think for the front, these looks nice, but for the side itself, I just kind of feel like glass might look better. But then over on this side, you will actually run into the issue of having the whole mount, because if I just quickly trim all of this out, and then we can just really quickly remove all of this so it gives us the perfect open space. If we just chop all of these blocks down, we know exactly how big of an area we have to work with. You know what? I will do the glass either way. I would definitely want to do the glass. I think it will look much better. Then we can just take all of our dark oak blocks and make them go from side to side, just like this all the way around. And then we can just nice and easily add all the blocks in through here. The whole back wall will just be completely filled in with this granite since we can't really see anything out of this one. And then the other side, we just do exactly what we did on the other side, just add in a few granite blocks going all the way through. And then now I just gotta go over and buy a little bit of glass unless I have something lying down there. Oh, I do have plenty of glass, that's right. Bought a bunch earlier. So let's just throw all of this glass inside right here. I think this is actually gonna end up looking quite nice. Yeah, I like that because then I can like kind of look out and actually see this over here. And then the same over here, which we definitely still gotta do something to this area. Then before I can transform the rest of the inside, what I need to do is find the way down so I can actually get out without destroying too much of this area. So then last but not least, we need to add in a roof, which doesn't actually require too much because we have basically the actual roof up here. So what I can do is I just have to add in a few blocks, which should actually be really simple. Basically, we just have the actual stairs going into the roof. I'm going to remove a couple of these blocks right here so it looks a bit better. That finishes the roof on both sides. So now I added in a few lanterns as well, because obviously we gotta have lanterns. But everything now in terms of the roofing is absolutely complete. But the inside, well, the inside needs quite a lot of work. It needs a whole bunch of work. And then I can see that I also need to finish up the roof inside. The roof inside right here should actually be a really quick and easy fix. I can just add slabs to the roof all the way through. Alright, perfect. That gives me a roof through the entirety of the house. And we gotta remove this and add in the last few walls. Alright, two things. I planted down the new saplings that I got so I could get more wood. Chopped them down, but got to grab the saplings. Which means I am back to having literally only 3 saplings again. I am the biggest dummy in the entire world. On top of that, number 2. I do not have enough granite to finish this off, so we gotta quickly grab some more of that. That's not a real issue though, we just gotta quickly grab a little bit more granite, probably like about 2 stacks and we should be good. And then obviously I gotta make another trip back over there to grab some more saplings, because this is my preferred wood and probably the wood that I'll be using the absolute most. If we walk inside now, the house is basically done. I just have let the vines grow like down the walls all the way around, just added in a few lanterns just so we actually have some lighting in here. But this is basically all that's really gonna happen in here. I wanted to just grab the last few pieces just to add them right here so we really have like everywhere growing vines in here, just so we get as much as possible for when we actually need it. But yeah, this house is pretty simple. It's not anything too crazy or anything like that. I don't want to have them grow over the windows. I think I might actually end up doing that if I come to a point where I start like using these quite a lot, but for now I think this is gonna plenty do it. We aren't quite done yet. We still need to do something about this outside right here. What I am thinking is that on the side I want to add a little staircase just going up the mountain, and then we have just a little area up here. Maybe it could be like an outside area where there grows vines, or maybe we just like throw down a tree or something. But I definitely for sure want to have some stairs going up. I should probably just really quick make the trip back for the dark oak saplings because, well, we're gonna need them. I don't know why I'm being such a dummy and forgetting about it, but you know what, man? That's just the consequences of being a dummy. Let me just really quick go back and get them. Gotta do this before. Come on now. I finally hit level 30 again. Please let this be good. Unbreaking Protection 3. It's alright, but it's not enough. It'll do for now. with those last few things added in, I think that's where we call it quits for this little project right here. So we added ourselves the little area over here to the side just to kind of do something to the mountain to not make it look too boring. And then I just added the giant wheat field because this world is just going to be filled up with fields everywhere. So I think it's just going to be like a little thing that's not too crazy, but it just makes the area actually look a little bit more alive. And I don't know, I just kind of really like it, man. Just have like this giant lake going around and everything like that. But this was just a little project that turned into quite a bigger project than expected. But I do truly think that this was way more than worth it, man. It looks really, really good. I'm actually very, very happy with the looks of it, man. That's just for places like this right here. I do think some areas should probably just stay a little open so it's not too much, but we could always just end up adding something in there at some point if we feel like it. But for now, I think this right here is this project completed. So then, since I just planted these trees down here now because I didn't really know where else to plant them, I thought that that would maybe be what the next project could be. The actual place for a tree farm. And where could that be? Well, it could literally just be right here to the side. So all that would really require for me to do would be to just extend this thing going like down here, and then it could just end off over there. And then throughout this area, we could have like a bunch of farms to the side that grows trees. I don't exactly know 100% where I'm going with it, but what I do know is that to start off with, I literally just want to take this thing and just extend it all the way down. And then when we've done that, we can figure out exactly how we want to go about it. Alright, this is a decent start. I might probably end up removing a couple of these lanterns. I just wanted to really make sure this area was lit up, because if you didn't notice, I was getting attacked by zombies literally all the time while doing this. So let's start off by doing a couple of things that's not really too much to do with the area, but for the whole feel of everything, it's going to be quite important. So if we just do a little pathway down here that connects this area here all the way over to this one there. Alright, nothing too crazy, just a simple little start. And we can just add in a little bit of lighting around just to spice up the area just a little bit. And then we come out to here. I think I want to try and do a little bit of something to this side right here of the actual mountain just to kind of make everything fit in a little better. On top of that, I think maybe building a bridge around and about here, extending over to the other side. Something very quick and simple should look pretty nice. On top of that, I gotta start by removing all of these trees right here so we actually have the proper space to figure out exactly how we... And I'm actually gonna use a bunch of birch wood, so this is perfect. I really don't know what these two endermen are doing there, but they've been here for a while. They must be enjoying themselves. So I'm probably gonna take this entire area over here, make sure the dirt level is the exact same level as this over here, and then in the back, just from the side, probably right here, extending over to the other side, I'm just gonna put in a wall. Just a simple cobblestone wall like we've done over at the other places, just to kind of end off the area so then no mobs can really run in here, and it will just kind of ease out the area. I've already made sure I've grabbed a bunch of vines from my little new vine farm, which, bro, this vine farm is gonna come in so unbelievably handy. I think I'm gonna use that thing like a crazy amount. But since I feel like I've shown probably a little too many time lapse already, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly fill in this area at the wall in the back, and then we can get to it. And just like that, the area looks 20 times better. There's just a simple little detail like just adding this. It's crazy, man. I really can't believe sometimes how much this small thing does. So obviously I want to turn this entire area into a giant tree farm. I was looking around in this area right here, and I was just noticing this little area up here. And you know what? Why not just build something cool up there? So what I'm thinking is that I have some sort of stairway going up, and then we have a front way leading in, so it's almost gonna be like a elevated hobbit hole in a sense. Not really, but it's like kind of just going into something. I don't really know why I call it a hobbit hole actually, but we'll just kind of see where we can take it. I do think I could build something cool. It won't have any purpose whatsoever, but just the facade going out I feel like would look cool. So I guess I just talked about giving you too many time lapses, but well, I feel like this requires a time lapse. So let's do that. fun little mini house complete. I think it's gonna look a little better when the grass is grown all the way up. If not, I'm just gonna add something into it. But I kind of think I want to just stick with the grass. If not, we can just, maybe we throw in some flowers or some wheat or carrots, something like that. But for now, I think I'm just gonna stay with this. Then we got ourselves a little bridge right here. So over here is where we want to start planting down all these trees. We have 15 oak saplings right now, so we can grow a couple of trees. But I want to do some sort of pattern that kind of makes sense. So let me think. Maybe we want to have, I want to almost make like pathways going in. So if we were to say that tree number 1 would just be placed right there, and then we have just a like 3 blocks in between, and that then is the next one, and then a 1, 2, 3. The last one will then be here. I think in terms of space, it should be okay, at least for this kind of front row. Then we do maybe like a 1, 2, 3, and then we have the next tree grown placed right here, and then probably keeping it simple, just doing this would make the most sense. I could add in tree around here, but I feel like this right here might make more sense. Maybe even we could do something that looks a little better actually. If I go into my chest right here and I just grab the tough blocks, I really like putting tough blocks in the ground. They just look really nice. So if I just make the pathway in the middle with this, and then the tough blocks on the outside. Now that I think about it, actually kind of exactly like we did over here earlier. But I guess since it keeps on coming to my mind to do it this way, it must be because it's a good thing to do, because I really like it. I do like it. I think it looks really good. Do that on side, and then the other side, we just replicate that. Extend the road going all the way down to the end. Yeah, I like this. I actually really like this. If we just grab ourselves these fences right here and the lanterns. Maybe right here we add a lantern on each side. Probably like around in the middle right here we can add another. And then in the middle again. And I should probably also have some in the back right here, so we make sure that the actual back area right here is also lit up perfectly. So it gives us something like this going all the way through, and then we can replicate this all the way around here. Something that is going to be pretty simple, but I feel like it's going to look quite decent. Let's just put in the roads first. Few more details added into this area, which is really coming together quite nicely. I am liking how this farm is going. Slowly over time, I will just fill in all of these saplings going around here. I've gathered a bunch of saplings at this point right now, but they take, you don't get as many saplings from these trees as you would from a lot of other trees, or it's maybe just because you need 4, so it's like a little bit more, something, words. You know exactly what it is I'm talking about. Got more than enough dark oak wood for a long time now, so we actually don't even have to worry about this, which is quite perfect, man. Then we can just come up here every now and then, do a little bit of work extending the farm and filling it out, and we'll just have ourselves a massive farm up here. Now we still got this whole area right here, which I definitely want to do something about. Since the next giant project that we're going to be working on is going to be down here in this valley, what I am thinking just for now is, if I go over here and just place these 3 blocks, I know that this right here is where I want to build some sort of ramp down. But then what I'm thinking is, I want to add some sort of outline all the way out here, just kind of blocking off this area. So I might just go very simple and just take these tough blocks, because it's like I fall in love with a few things and I just really stick by them. I'm pretty loyal to the things that I enjoy, it seems. It seems like I'm just getting extremely loyal to all this stuff. So my plan is, I think what I want to do is I just want to take all of these tough blocks, extending all the way from like around and about here, and then all the way over to the wall. Basically, it just kind of ramps off this area into its own little thing, because like I said, this next project is gonna be outrageous down here. It's gonna be massive. But if I just throw in a couple of these blocks going all the way through, we should finish this off pretty quickly. And then all I gotta do is just take a bunch of these birds fences, which we've actually ran out of, but I just want to take them and fill it in all the way over. But that requires me to get a few more. All right, let's see if this is gonna cut it. All right, perfect. Then I can just grab a few lanterns and just spice in Alright, and then we just have this fence going all the way around that it just blocks in this area. Just makes it feel very much so like its own. And I can just take these down now because then we know still exactly where to go down. Then what I could probably do is just quickly make myself a few stairs to kind of start this thing off. But basically it just goes down like this right here, and then it's going to extend all the way down. I then probably just want to do this to the ground going all the way through here. And that gives us something like this. I'm truly impressed by it. I'm yapping so much and talking about so many things of how good things look, but I just really love how just this simple little thing doing this makes this thing look like a million times better than what it did before. What I can probably do right here in this little area, since I'm probably also going to end up using a lot of birds going forward, since that's definitely something we use a lot for the fences. Probably just right here, I could plant down a few birch trees. Yeah, look at this, bro. This is awesome, man. Then I can just come over here and I can get like at least like a couple of stacks probably if everything grows up. But if I just throw down a couple of birch saplings right here, we'll have a little bit of an area like that, and then maybe I can throw down a couple of oak trees just around here, maybe a little bit over in the back here as well. And then that's probably for the most part all the woods that I'll need. Maybe I'll start using like jungle wood and stuff in the future, but I'm not really the biggest jungle wood fan. It's just not really a great wood. I like this building in the back as well, and with the grass growing up right now, it looks 20 times better. But if I can just add a little bit of that into this area right here, that should probably be everything that's needed. If I can just maybe remove like these more random blocks that's like right here, probably it's just gonna look a little better at least. Probably will need a little bit of lighting on this mountain right here just to make sure that it's as spawn proof as it can be. But all we gotta do is just throw in these last couple of saplings, and then that will basically finish off this area. What I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this episode a little bit shorter than I usually would, because I know that for this next giant project right here, I am going to need so many days to finish this all, that having these extra 10 days in the next one will probably come in very handy. So what I'll do is, because I have to start removing all of these trees down here, from all those trees I will gather a bunch of saplings that I'll just throw in here throughout the next episode, because I just don't think that, no, like it's going to be a little bit of a time waste going around grabbing all of that when I'll get it from that project down there. So I'm gonna say for now this is probably quite perfect, and then it will just kind of extend more naturally when we actually do a few more projects going forward, especially this next one. This next project, it's gonna be so massive. I truly cannot wait to get into this project. I also gotta get some more axolotls. Like, they will slowly but surely make their way over here by themselves, we know that, but I would love to go over and grab some more axolotls as well to add into this area. I definitely also want to extend it as well with all these lily pads and everything like that. But for now, I'm gonna see. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to get as much time as I possibly can for this next project down here. Hope you guys enjoyed. This next thing is gonna be awesome. It is time for us to take on what I think is gonna be the biggest project of this world as of yet. We've done so many incredible things in this world, from doing the starter house to building our phenomenal little village up here, which I just absolutely freaking love this village so much, man. It's so colorful, so comfortable, and well, the iron golems are just taking over, man. They're absolutely taking over. As well as that, of course, we've now gotten ourselves our little vine farm inside this house over here. Our random little farm up here, which, well, if we need weed, we can go up there. Because it's not like we got weed a bunch of other places, even up there. We got ourselves plenty of stuff around in this world, man. But I think my favorite build as of yet has got to be these two giant dwarves guarding the entrance to whatever we're gonna build in there at some point. Obviously as well, we gotten ourselves a giant nether portal. We've gotten so many things in this world, and we are only gonna keep on expanding. And that is what today's project is. Because if you kind of, in a sense, right now, we have this kind of circle going around here where everything you look at right now, there are some sort of build going into the actual area itself all around this space. Upstairs to, well, the downstairs where I'm at right now. But when we walk over here, where we obviously in our last episode built a new little tree farm, the issue is when we look down, this area down here is just awful. But I think I have gotten myself a pretty cool idea. What the idea is I want to build some sort of fishing town, I guess you would call it. Now exactly how it's gonna turn out, I don't know, because as always, we just go full on freestyle and try and just come up with something as we go. But what I want to start off with this episode is I want to expand on our little tree farm up here and just throw down a bunch of trees that we can just have growing on top of each other, because we're probably going to end up using so much wood and stuff for these different projects going on. I'm actually pretty confident in saying that I don't have anything that looks like an oak sapling. I'm almost certain that does not exist in any of my chests. As far as I can tell, I'm right about that. There are still so many things to do right now. I still want to make sure that this little lake going down here gets filled up with a bunch of lily pads and flowers and stuff like that. But I need to make a trip back to the village that we have like all the way over there to grab a bunch of new materials to add into this. That is going to be when we need a little mid break from building down here, because you know, it's always nice having like a little thing going on halfway through a project where you can just take a little breather, get away from it, maybe come up with a couple new ideas and then jump right back into it. But for now, I am just unbelievably ready to just literally jump into this project and go crazy. There are so many things that has to be done at this point right now, but we can just start off by doing a very simple little thing, and that is extending this little stairway that we have going down, just so we can easily run up and down with no issue. So for me to get a better look at how everything is going to look down here, what I should probably start off doing is trimming a bunch of these trees away, which is going to give me a bunch of materials, which is actually also pretty perfect. But it also is just going to give me a better feel of how this entire area looks without all these trees standing in the way. What are the chances of two villager zombies spawning at the same time? I saw them both coming out of this cave. There is no way that I just had two of those at the same time just running out of here. What? That seems like, how is that happening? I was like thinking, is there a village here? That there probably isn't. I would have absolutely seen it, but that's insane. Two? I genuinely don't think I've ever seen two zombie villagers at once just coming out of there. Or like of anywhere, basically. That is actually literally insane. I kind of want to take them actually and just turn them into villagers, because it would give me a much better price on things as well. Alright, both of them trapped right here. Perfect. So now that... Oh yeah, they're gonna be loud. Let me just move a little bit down. So now that I've cleared a little bit of this area up, I want to just start by actually working on this area and then moving further in. Because as you can see, like just the level of spawn rate down here is just absolutely insane. And obviously, like, because I've lit so much up here, when there are these dark areas, the spawn rate will just be even more insane. But the plan for everything is quite simple. I want to just start off by building a little middle thing around the entire thing in the middle. That's where I'm going to start building everything. So probably around in this spot right here, I want to make a little quote-unquote mini island where I have some sort of diorite tower going up, kind of like a lighthouse maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but maybe like a clock tower slash lighthouse. Actually, a clock tower might be pretty cool now that I think about it. What I probably should do is, do I even have torches? I don't even know if I actually have torches. Well, I know for sure that I'm not ever going to be running out of wood now that we have this tree farm. So I'm going to just throw down this furnace, pop in this bucket of lava. Let's just grab a stack of this dark oak logs, and then we can just make a whole bunch of charcoal that we can turn into torches, because I really need to light this area up. So for me to be able to build this tower in here, obviously we have to get a bunch of diorite, and I'm pretty certain that I actually don't really have any diorite laying around anywhere. Let's also really quick throw down all of these saplings right here, so if we at some point are going to need oak, we already have a bunch of trees grown. And I guess sure, we can even do jungle wood right here, because we'll probably also end up needing a little bit of jungle wood. I'm just going to grab myself a few stacks of diorite and then we can get to the project. I think this is all the materials that I'm going to need for now, but before we get into it, what I need to do is, I've just realized that I'm actually at level 33 right now, so I want to grab some of my diamonds that I have, and then I want to make a new helmet. I got so many diamonds now, I can afford to just waste some. So this is another protection 3. That is definitely not what I was hoping for the diamond hoe. Yeah, so I'm also going to make myself a new diamond hoe. They're really nice to clear out areas with trees. So we're going to start off by enchanting this one, Unbreaking 3 and Unbreaking 3. Well, that's garbage. Silk Touch. Silk Touch is an interesting one. It gives me the opportunity to grab a bunch of leaves that I can then in turn turn into bone meal. But it also limits the opportunity to get sapling. I think I'm gonna grab it. I think I'm gonna grab it actually. Okay, so Silk Touch and Efficiency 4 is not a bad one. This also puts me under level 30. I have just realized that. But ooh, this does gives me the opportunity to, when I get back to 30, we can get Protection 4. Let's just throw in a couple of extra diamonds in this chest. So can I get to level 30 quickly? I know I have some clay lying around here that I can trade with my villagers, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Ooh, I got a decent amount actually. Let's try and grab all of this clay right here and talk to some of our villagers, and then make sure that we don't hold anything in our hands with mending on it. And then let's see if we can get to level 30 with this. It's probably gonna be close, but not quite. That's the typical one. Like I told you. It's gonna be close, but not quite. Unless these guys reset their trade. That's so annoying. Okay, they do. Alright, they do. Yeah. I was just gonna say that is just my luck. I would not have been surprised if that was the case. Let's jump in here, throw in our new helmet. I need my lapis. Boom, boom. Protection 4 and just Protection 4, which is alright because I can just combine these two. Throw in this helmet. That's for 6 and this one will be 10. So let's reverse it. Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, and then the Efficiency 4. That's 3. No, that's 12, and then the other way it's an 8. Then I also need mending. That is true. I definitely do need mending. That's a Silk Touch book. I do not think I have any mending books lying around. But what I do have right here is just the bookshelves that I can quickly mine. And then we can find wherever that librarian is that does sell us mending. Not this guy, but I will actually buy some lanterns. To no one's surprise ever. There we are. This guy's the mending guy. And I'll buy some lanterns as well from you. So let's pop in the helmet and throw on the mending. I suppose actually I'll buy another mending book for the diamond hoe. Buy a few more lanterns first. Where's the mending guy? Alright, there's another mending book. Let's pop that on the diamond hoe. And that's probably all the work that I wanted to do right now. Just a little bit of extra stuff, which is always nice. So I believe with all of that, that now means that I'm basically ready to go down here and build this tower. So let's start off by finding the middle point, at least somewhat. It doesn't have to be exactly the middle, but it has to be somewhat. And we should really get to spending all of the torches around here. We've gotten ourselves another spawner right here. This one is actually a skeleton spawner. So I think I'm gonna mixturing in some diorite with some dark oak and maybe even some granite potentially. But for now, if we say that the entrance is just gonna be this right here, this is the door. So then I want to do a 1, 1, and then that. Then I want to have the wall extend by a 1, 2. Same on the other side. And then I kind of just replicate right here with a 1, 2, 3. Then this last few pieces like that. So this is basically gonna be the size of it, and this right here will just be the entrance. So then what I want to do is I want to probably extend this here a few blocks out and then build a little staircase going up, and then just have the tower going, I don't know, maybe between 20 and 30 blocks high. I don't want it to be too tall because of the actual like islands up here, so just like a kind of solid middle thing. Let's see what we can do. Well, that didn't even go remotely close to what I was thinking in terms of size. It is much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. But you know what? I like it though. I definitely do really like it. I think it looks really cool. Now that I'm looking from down here, there's a few details that I think could be a little better. So maybe if I just go to the side and remove a, nope, not that. But if I remove the stairs on both sides right here and just throw in this with lanterns on top of it, I think it's gonna bring a little bit more light. So since everything is so dark down here, it's so important to really mixturing in a good amount of light to bring everything to life. Yeah, that actually helps a whole lot. Then obviously the island around should also have a little bit more to it. So what I'm thinking is that I just add some sort of dirt layer going all the way around. I think I want it at a height of about here. So something as simple as if I can just grab myself a handful of dirt And then all I need to do is just fill it in a little bit around here so it just goes out all the way around. Nothing too big, but definitely, yeah, see, I'm thinking something like this. Yeah, if you take a look at this right here, I think if I can just replicate this going all the way around, this should be fine. And then what we can do is we can start adding in a little bit of water around here just to get the whole feel. So I just carved out a little area that we can fill in with water, and that will give us a solid idea of where we can expand out from here. The water for sure adds in a massive improvement, so what I think I'll do then, rosebush, drip leaves, and lilacs added in around the tower should look good. So if we just spice a few in, let's take a quick little step back. Nothing too crazy, but I think it helps. Honestly, I'll probably just add in even more flowers to the side. And then as soon as the grass is grown out fully, it should look even better. But that definitely helps the look a little bit. I also made sure the inside actually changed out the floor, which I do think looks really cool. The plan is to start in this area. The reasoning why I specifically want to start here is due to this waterfall that I have in mind. Since we have this lake kind of extending throughout the entire world, well, at least basically extending out through the entire world, I think I want to have this falling down here and then connecting in with the lake. Then I think maybe around the lake going down there, I could add in a few houses on the side. And it actually shouldn't be too hard to build something nice of it just falling down here and then connecting in. All I think I need is a buttload of buckets of water and a whole bunch of dirt. I really think that's probably all that's required. And then maybe removing this tree right here, because these vines, nah, I don't need these vines to go all the way down there, man. You gotta go, tree. Operation Waterfall is a go. I should probably also actually turn these guys. So there you guys go. Enjoy yourself. So what I'm thinking the plan is that if it just kind of comes in here and then falls like straight down, I probably then should be able to quite easily contain it afterwards. So let's try and start off by just filling in some buckets on the side of the actual mountain and then see how they by themselves just kind of leads down. Alright, see the spread looks somewhat decent. Then if I can just go around and add in a few pieces of dirt all the way around so it at least looks like it kind of contains it going down. Oh, this guy already escaped. Please don't die. Brody, please don't die. You can just extend this going all the way up. So it's kind of contained right here and then by itself just floats out. And all I need to do is probably just add like a few pieces of dirt around here just so it doesn't look too weird. So if I can just extend this whole side right here and this side, it will then connect with this area over here and we kind of have it all connected, at least for now. So basically all I gotta do is just fill in this entire area with water. It should be quite easy to do. Alright, perfect. That now connects from the actual waterfall over to the other side. I feel like what my plan is that for the houses themselves, I might have them go around the actual mountain sides so that the whole sea out here, or sea/lake, whatever you want to call it, is actually pretty big. I feel like that would be really cool, and if I could just add like a bunch of axolotls and stuff like that into it, I think it would make everything feel so alive, and then maybe like even like a few islands in between and stuff like that. So maybe something I should tackle off the get-go is that around this side right here, I just take the outer layer around and not actually much of the inside, but the outer layer here and add in a few facades of buildings. And my villagers are here. Let's go. I should be really specific with which jobs I give these guys since they will have a really nice discount. I'm actually really liking this tower. I was kind of like afraid that it wasn't gonna look all that good at the start, but now that I've really like started looking at it, and I think especially with the water, it looks great. Obviously, I gotta remove my OG golden Brits at the back though, which is unfortunate. It's been here since very long time, but it's gotta go. So let's tackle this build right here. Let's transform this entire facade right here into a almost entire village building around the front of the mountain. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna utilize the top of it and kind of extend it around that way. So something quite simple that I want to do off the get-go is I think I just want to follow this exact pattern of the lowest block all the way around. With those blocks added all the way around, what our next step will be is that all the way around we want to add a 1, 2, 3 and then a block like that out front. Then all we gotta do is just add a few details around in a few places where we just do something like this right here. And lantern, and we have ourselves entrance to house number 1. Then right next to it, we can just add in a few like this, and then we can grab some of our stone brick. And then I can just add something like this randomly on the side. And then right here, we can throw in some polished granite and granite. And that would give us doorway number 2. And I think you get the picture, so let's do that all the way around. Yeah, I made a mistake right there. Made a little mistake at this spot right here. Let's quickly fix that. Alright, that looks a bit more correct. I don't really know if I'll ever actually end up building anything inside here. So just for now, since we aren't going to build anything in here right now, let's just pop these in so you can't actually see the behind the walls. Then my next step will be to add some sort of stairway going up the side. Should be something very simple, but I just wanted to kind of lead up to here, and I do believe, let me try and get all the way up real quick. Yeah, if I can connect this pathway going through here, and then make the staircase go down, I feel like that would be cool. So what we can do real quick is just start off by removing these, so we have ourselves a little pathway going out, and then here we just have it swerve down. And I suppose since this is already birch, let's actually make the staircase out of birch. Alright, the next step will probably be to add these oak fences going all the way around. Alright, perfect. Then I can probably actually add in the water, at least on this side, just to see how it looks with the water filled in. So I think I'm just gonna start off by probably adding in the water. Alright, then let's just take out all of the dirt. Let's try and take a step back up the mountain and take a look. Oh yeah, it's definitely coming together, man. I'm liking this. It's not like I'm trying to do anything too crazy over the side. It's more so just the fact that like there are actually something instead of it just being like dead and boring. I think this looks solid. There are still a few details that I think I could add in, but I think it's a very good start. The stairway up looks really solid. A few details, should probably add in a little bit of dirt over to the side just to make it look a little bit more complete. Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. Let's try and do a little something about this waterfall so it makes it look a bit more natural, maybe? That gives it a slight bit of feeling towards the waterfall. What I want to do before really starting to make sure all details are complete, I want to start figuring out this area. There are a few simple things to start off with that I want to do, and some of them are quite simple. What I want to do is I just want to extend this stairway all the way down until we actually hit the bottom. That means this right here is the level where the water will extend out to. We got our stairway going all the way down. Then what I think I want to do is I want to try and do something a little unique, but something that could be quite fun. I want to try and see if I can do some sort of kind of double layer of housing. I think that sounds a bit odd, but let me try and explain what I mean. So since there's quite a far way going up to the actual top of this stairway, what I'm thinking is that we have about this layer right here will be the layer where the water comes around. So then at the bottom, I want to build something in the feel of what I've did right here. So I just want to have houses probably going to around about this height, but then on top of that, I want to add houses a little further back, kind of on top of those houses. I think it could be really freaking cool and have a very unique look to it, but I just gotta nail exactly how I want to do it. I'm just gonna start off over at this side, so if it ends up looking absolutely horrible, at least we know that's not what we're gonna go with. But I do think it should be somewhat easy to actually do. Like, all I'd have to do to start off with is just kind of trimming out this mountain a little bit and give it some proper space. And I've already put up this tough block line up here, which I think is just what I'm gonna follow. So maybe right here is where the last house will be. And then all I gotta do is just remove this all the way over to the staircase. And then now we have a giant area to just fill in a couple of houses. We are probably gonna have to go on a pretty big gathering of materials at this point, because I'm starting to run out of wood. Thankfully, we got our beautiful farm up here where we can just chop down a bunch of trees and we can get to work on this. Things are definitely starting to change like absolutely crazy. Adding all of this water in over here has done so much. This is really getting super freaking cool. We take a step back right here. The farm is starting to slowly but surely grow up. I just kind of wanted to put like a farm in there since I'm gonna probably build houses on this side as well. So it kind of made sense just to not only do houses everywhere, but just do a little farm and stuff like that every now and then. But if we look back here, wow, man, this is really looking cool. I am absolutely loving the vibes of this. So let's make our way back over here and actually do something, since I made sure to completely fence in this area right here because I wanted to actually bring in some villagers. So we have our 2 nice villagers right here, which I'm just gonna, if I can just quickly take this down, jump in the boat, and then we can just take this guy in here, and let's take this other guy down to the roof, and then just one last little, there we are. And then we can set both of these guys free, and then, well, then we will find out if I've actually made sure to completely fence off this area or not. Because if I haven't, well, then they can't just make their way out, which they can, because they can literally just run out here. That's a quick fix though, no issue. I just need some slabs under there, that's alright. And then we can throw in this one here, and then the other one in the other house, so then they can have each their own houses. And you know what, man, while we are here, just because we can't just leave it off like this just wouldn't be okay. Let's just throw in some wood at the floor so they actually have a nice little house. I'm gonna go get you some bookshelves and a few beds. And you know what, man, you're gonna get the same treatment. I actually don't have enough emeralds right now for bookshelves now that I think about it. And also, I don't have any wool. Wait, actually that's not true. I did have a little bit of wool right here. I do have a little bit of leftover wool after building the flag. I just don't know where. Oh, there it is. This won't be the greatest decoration you've ever seen in a house, but you guys are gonna get just a little something. Alright, that should be enough for now. And then we can also take this last bed right here. There we are. And then we can actually add in another stone cutter for now. Let's pop this one in the corner and actually just throw like a lantern on. Alright, enjoy your little house right here. And I can just grab some materials and do the exact same here. Now what I want to do is I want to take a little step back for a few minutes and actually spend some time making sure I gather some stuff that I probably am going to need. So we are going to start working on this side, and we're going to kind of just keep the theme going with all of these houses, try and change them up a little bit, but try and stay as much on theme as possible. But something I would really like to get is I would like to get some more axolotls added into the area. For me to get axolotls, I would have to make a trip back to a place that I've not been to in a while, which is all the way over there, our good old village. Didn't really find any axolotls, but I'm just gonna grab myself a bunch of tropical fish, and then we have a good amount of clay now. So with a few more of these axolotls added into the area, it's definitely breathing a little bit more life into this little space that we got down here. So what I want to do now is I want to do the next extension of the build, which is going to be this side over here. So first off, we would really quickly need to trim out all of these trees to see how much space we have to work with. Next, I'm thinking I should probably go up and grab myself a bunch of torches to make sure the area is lit up. Got myself a bunch of charcoal right here, already got plenty of sticks. Then what I'm thinking for the floor down here is kind of going intact with what we've done on this side. I'm really loving the dark oak feel going around, so I think replicating that on this side right here just feels proper. So I'm thinking that this thing right here just extends a little bit further down, and then probably at around, let me just quickly grab a few more tough blocks because I'll need that. So what we can do is we can just extend this out a few more blocks, probably around and about to this area. Matter of fact, let's add another one and then do this. So we just have this going all the way through, and we can just do it in one straight line. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It should just be pretty simple going all the way through here. And see, this right here is what I wanted to avoid. That's why I brought torches. Let's just quickly yap down a bunch. So when we have a giant cave going down like this in this area, I just want to light it up a little bit like I've done, and then just kind of block it off and just act like it doesn't exist whatsoever. So just quickly add a few blocks in, and this should just, well, remove it from existence. But now what I gotta do down here is I gotta figure out exactly how I want to build this area. And I actually have what I consider to be a pretty cool idea. And it's kind of going in the sense of what we did to this side right here. This little cave thing right here works really well because of the roofing on top of it. Just kind of like, I don't know. Something words, you know what I mean, right? And if you don't, well then you're just like me because I don't know what I'm talking about either. And just focus on this area because I don't want to waste any more time yapping. So all I'm thinking is I'm gonna do some sort of double layer like we've done here. That's basically the gist of it. Should end up being pretty simple, just trying to mixing in a bunch of different woods. And more so this time around over here, what I'm thinking is that instead of doing wood like I did to most of these houses except this one down here, I want to go ahead and just do a bunch of different types of stones, which requires me to get a bunch of diorite, granite, cobblestone, tuff, and you name it, man. Just a bunch of different types of stones. So I'm gonna go back and grab myself a handful of different materials that we can start working with for this area. And then let's try and make this That gives us what I would consider the lower layer of this build. Before we start extending out to the side over here, which we are going to do, what I want to do first is I want to figure out exactly how I want to go about the upper space of the area. So what I'm going to do now, before we do anything, is actually this place right here seems like the perfect place for me to add in some sort of stairway. And then we have the pathway going up here. And now what I should probably do is actually finish off the roofing of these houses before doing the next ones on top. I'm gonna go pretty simple and just add a layer of slabs on top of the houses. And I'm thinking they will extend back, let's say 4 blocks. Then I just gotta clear out all of this all the way through and add slabs all the way ahead. And then what we can do is now add another house in the back of it. So we still have this giant area up here, which we don't really have anything for. I don't think I'm going to build houses or anything up here. So what I'm going to do is, well, if you've watched any of my videos at this point, you've probably already guessed it. But if you haven't, it's farm time. We are simply just going to build a farm up here. Whenever you have a space you don't really know what to do with, farm it is. Like right there. What I want to do actually for this is I want to go around and add a few subtle details in. So I'm actually going to grab myself a few tough blocks. Then also, actually, before we get into any of that, what I want to do really quickly up here is add a fence all the way through. Just so we kind of close off this area. And we actually also got to do this right here. So for now, what I'm going to need is I will need myself a whole bunch of seeds. And I don't even know if I've actually left any seeds anywhere or if I always turn them to bone meal. Stack of 64 is definitely not going to do it. So I have to clean out a few farms down here so we actually have a bunch of seeds to work with. 2.5 stacks should probably do it. If not, well, I'll just come back to you, beauty. So what I am thinking for this is actually what I can start off with is kind of just go around, add a little bit of a tough path like I did up there earlier. So all I gotta do is just go down over to the wall over here and just throw in my tough. Just do a little bit of work around here, which is kind of go around like this simply. And if we just throw a few dark oak fences in here, it's just going to help it look a little better. And then obviously we also got to throw in a few lanterns because, well, it's a TIFO video. You're going to get lanterns. And all I'd really need to do up here is actually just turn this into a giant farm. Alright, that just gives us a little farm up here. So when it grows fully, it should look pretty good. What I'm thinking now is I want to go down here and kind of work this side so that it feels more so complete all the way around from the little village over here into this. All I gotta do is just fill in a couple of places and we should be good. Then the next part should probably just be to actually extend all of this water in. If I just remove this whole thing, I think that should take care of it all the way over to the other side. Lovely. It does. Let's try and make our way a little bit back and see how it looks. I like it. Actually, looks pretty good. Matter of fact, I actually think it looks really cool. This is dope. This turned out better than I thought it would. What I am thinking now is that that's basically it for this area itself. It's just kind of now needs to go further and extend around. We still got 10 days left of these 100 days, so we can still definitely do some building around here. I think to start off with, what I should do is just take this path and kind of extend it around, so maybe it will end up somewhere around here, maybe a little further back. I want to have a good amount of water around this area just for the lighthouse itself to kind of have some sort of purpose. But if I can just go around and a bit like this all the way over and fill it in, I think this should end up being pretty good. And then either we can just do a few more houses inside here, or maybe we just do some sort of farm. Ooh, there's even a diamond right there. I think what I want to do now is just first off clear out the area itself. Yeah, that should probably help me to see exactly what I should do. So I guess I kind of ended up actually adding in another 2 houses to the side right here, but it's worth it. I'm pretty certain that I have an idea for how I can do this area. It's just about exactly figuring out how I want to do it. So what I'm thinking is I want to take this kind of pathway that I have going on top and just kind of keep on extending it out. Probably around there, and then what I want to do is just start slowly but surely getting it to swing over to the other side. Let's see, if we take a step back. Yeah, that's exactly how I want it to go. So if I just keep on doing it like this, maybe a couple more. I want it to end up actually connecting with the mountain. Kind of just going all the way over and hitting this side. Then I think I'm just going to add another layer on the back, because that will then make me able to throw these fences at the front. And of course, one short. Because why would I not be one short? Let's jump down and take a step back. That's exactly the way I wanted it to be. Then what I want to do is, I want to grab a whole bunch of dirt. And I think I just want to start off by just having these go all the way down and hit the ground. Then somewhere in here in the middle, I want to do a little bit of an extension. Let's just throw down another crafting table. I don't know why, but I kind of like having like crafting tables and stuff like that just be around here, just because it kind of brings a little bit to the village. But what I want to do is I want to make myself a few more stairs, and maybe in a spot just here, I want to just kind of go out. And then what I want to do is I want to just have these stairs, and then somehow, some way from down here to up there, I want to make myself a stairway. All right, just some sort of stairway going up just like this right here. Just a little odd, but you know what, man? Why not? A little different. That means we have a little bit of an open area down here, which is actually good. I kind of wanted that. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill it out a little bit with dirt, so that it just gives us an area like this where I'm just gonna literally just put in wheat like I always do, because why not? I need a few more seeds, but let's just fill out this entire area and it will look a little better. And then we still have this giant area up here in the back, and I think what I want to do is I want to do an extension of these houses just going all the way around. In theory, I think this should be pretty simple. I want to add another layer here because it's going to just make it a little bit more spacious. But if I can just add another house just like this about here, and then we just kind of keep this rolling through the side. Maybe even for the side, what I could do is over there I did these stone walls so that the side is just like a giant stone wall going through. That might, you know what, that's what I'll do. So one more house here and then a stone wall going through. So for the last few days I just went around and really tried to finish off this whole build. Even went back to a couple of places and actually upgraded those places. And just like that, we have now survived 200 days in a cave zombie world. If we take a look at the build from up here, you can see at the back that it is far from finished, and that is left so on purpose. So we've gotten our entire side down here inside the mountain, we've gotten our little village over here, and then of course this village here as well, with the waterfall and the stairs, and of course our lighthouse in the middle. So if we just take a little quick run around here and get over to this spot. The reason why I haven't done anything to the back right here, like what I could have done is just quickly added in a few facades like I've done right there to the back to quote unquote finish off the build. I have not done that because I actually want to take this whole area and expand it even further and make this whole place bigger and bigger. Now that won't be our next project, but it will be one of the upcoming ones. I really like how this one turned out right here with the wall. I think it actually looks really cool. It just gives like a light little contrast just going through that you don't have to do anything like too crazy. I've also went over back to the village and grabbed a lot more axolotls if that wasn't obvious. I grabbed about an entire inventory filled and just put them into the lake. And the plan is obviously to get even more, because why not? Now you're probably asking yourself, well, what will the next project be? Well, the next project will actually be this area on top here. I talked about plenty times in this world that I did not want to make any sort of automated farms and stuff like that. I'm kind of going back on my word in a sense. The reasoning why I'm going back is because I want to have a purpose
to these different areas that we're gonna keep on building and keep on expanding. So what I'm planning for now is to take this entire area right here and actually turn this entire thing into one giant iron farm city. Now, like we always do, it's gonna get freestyle. I don't exactly know how it's gonna go, but I do know that with all these different builds that we're doing right now, it's just gonna be another fun, crazy freaking build. Like you can see, our world is expanding so much. It's even gonna get better. It's even gonna get crazier. But the plan is for this area over here to become some sort of massive iron farm. Let's see what we can do with this. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let's tackle these next 100 days.